live from the T.P.O.T studios, the game where we talk about discrimination, prejudice, bigotry, with all of the absurd hypocrisies and contradictions that come with it. Get ready to play the ridiculous race game. Open your mind.
The Prophet of Thought. The Prophet of Thought. You know. The Prophet of Thought. Prophet of Thought. Open your mind, 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 open your mind.
And we are back. Peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black ass is here. And some white folks too. Tonight is Saturday night, and y'all know what we do on Saturday night. We play the ridiculous race game, and I got a good cast of characters tonight. Survival is here. Freezone Lou is here. A Truism will be here, and Brother S.K.C will be here. So, yeah, man, good cast of characters tonight. Our contestants will be on fire. And I got a good one for y'all tonight, folks, because tonight we are talking about the racism in Law and Order. Yeah, because you know these things always got to have a theme, right? And that's the theme tonight. But before we get started, as always, I always start the show off with thanking you, good folk, man, for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I realize, man, you don't have to do it, man. You don't have to show up to these goddamn streams. You don't have to look at these videos. You don't have to share them. And you definitely don't have to sub to this platform. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned coins on here either. But you good folks, continue to do so, man. Night after night, week after week, you are here when you can be anywhere. And I want you to know, man, I don't take you good folk lightly, man. I never have and I never will. You got my word on that. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm appreciative, man. And most importantly, man, I'm thankful for all you good folks, man. And this goes for the good folks that hang out in there and good folks this way. The good folks who hang out in here. All right. All right. So let's get at it. I see my contestants are here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little different tonight, y'all. We're going to introduce everybody with a musical interlude. Let me see if I can get it to play. Can y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Tell me y'all can hear that. God damn it. Can y'all hear that? Yeah, I think y'all can hear it. I think y'all can hear it. First up, you know him from being at all the streams. Nicknamed the Incredible Hulk. The one and only a Truism is here.
No, you said you weren't bringing anything else up.
This is being in all the streams. Like, yeah, I'm all the streams, all of them. What's good? Shout out. Come on, man. Give extra doggone likes. Hit that daggone cash app. Get this man some doggone money. We about to do some racism up in this
The Hulk is here.
Let's
And
go.
coming to the stage. You've seen him before. He's one of our returning contestants. We usually utilize him as the white man representative.
Uh-oh.
You know the name, the one and only Survival is here.
What's up, guys?
Survival.
Hey.
What's good
How's
with
it
it,
going,
man?
guys? What's good?
And
Good to be here. Good
also
to be here.
coming to the stage
My
with
second
that
favorite wigger. What's good?
comedic style, and he's known for his great impressions. The one and only Freezone Lou is here.
Lou.
What up? What up? What up, man? The motherfucking Lou in the building. What's good, brother X? A True Survival. What's good? Y'all hit the cash app, man. Support my boy, man.
What's good with
Yeah,
it, man?
man.
What's
Come
good
on,
with it?
do
What's
this.
good with it? Well, as I said in the beginning, you know, we always have a theme to these things because all of you are returning contestants, I believe. Except for Freezone. Is this
I
your
was on
first
the
time
very
on?
first one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was on the very first one
I came in late on the
when I
first.
did the chaotic truth impression. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
okay.
that was the very
Okay.
first
Okay.
one.
Okay. I do believe Brother Supreme is going to be a little late.
Yeah.
He's out with his family, but he said he is coming, so he
Of
will
course.
be here.
Of
I
course.
did speak to him. He said he'll be running a little late. He's out with the fam doing his thing, but he said he is going to be here. So, but like I said, man, tonight we're going to be talking some law and order, and we're going to be asking the question: are these laws racist? Now, I've pulled up something here, and I want you, good gentlemen, to listen to. All right. It's about a 5 to 6 minute listen. I want you to listen to it and then we shall discuss. Here we go.
It took years for Dorothy to even consider studying the relationship between taxes and race.
Fair
She had
use.
already gone to law school, got a special degree in tax law, became a tax attorney. And then she read an article by a mentor of hers, a law professor named Jerome Culp.
And in his article, he said, how do you know there isn't a race and tax problem if you don't look? And I thought, what? Race and tax? So I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, Jerome, I'm going to do something about race and tax. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm going to do something. And he said, good for you.
So Dorothy hangs up and starts looking for data.
And that's when I found out the IRS doesn't publish statistics by race. And it was like, I'm going to do what?
Yeah, so as Dorothy found out, The IRS isn't like, say, the US Census or the Departments of Justice or Education or Housing. Those agencies need to collect info on race and ethnicity because it helps them enforce civil rights laws. And that just was not the mandate for the IRS. So she had to get creative, piecing together whatever she could find from other agencies and researchers on race and taxes. And eventually, a pattern started to emerge.
So what my research showed, provision after provision after provision, is these tax subsidies were made with white taxpayers in mind and not Black taxpayers in mind.
Stick a pin in that. White taxpayers in mind, not Black taxpayers. But we continue.
An example of this is the joint tax return for married couples. This provision can be traced back almost a century ago to a wealthy white couple from Seattle named Charlotte and Henry Seaborn. Charlotte was a stay-at-home spouse. Henry was an executive at a shipbuilding company. And back in the 1920s, they were looking for a way to cut their tax bill.
What he decided to do, what he and his tax advisors, let's be clear, decided to do was to shift half of his income to Charlotte. If he was able to shift half of his income to his wife, then the tax rate that each of them would pay would be significantly less than if he was taxed on all of it.
This is just something they decided to do, and it wasn't...
There was no legal precedent for this. So the IRS gets it and says, you can't do that. And they go to court and ultimately go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, you can do that. So we get the joint return because Henry and Charlotte decided they didn't want to pay as much in taxes.
I mean, like, who doesn't want to pay less in taxes, right? This is probably a universal human law. But here is the thing. The joint tax return essentially amounts to a marriage bonus, but mainly for couples like the Seaborns, where one spouse brings in virtually all the income. And generally speaking, that is less likely to be the situation for Black couples than it is for white couples.
And
stick a pin in that. Stick a pin in that as well, but we continue.
And one big reason for that is that Black people historically have faced discrimination in the labor market. In fact, studies show they often still do. So it's more often the case for Black couples that both partners have to work to make ends meet. And even for higher income households, Dorothy's data shows Black couples are more likely than white ones to be two-income households. So bottom line, that means Black couples are generally less likely to be able to take advantage of the marriage bonus.
Dorothy saw this mirrored in her own parents' situation. Her dad was a plumber and her mom was a nurse. And even though they were filing their taxes jointly, Dorothy was confused as to why their tax bill wasn't lower.
And it clicked. This is why my parents are paying so much in taxes, because my parents made almost identical amounts of income.
And in her research, Dorothy found other ways the tax code seemed to overlook folks like her parents. Take employer retirement plans. Things like 403B, 401ks. These allow employees to sock away money for retirement tax-free. But because of past and present discrimination, Black people are less likely to have the kinds of jobs that offer these plans.
Stick a pin in that as well, but we continue.
Offer these plans.
And even when they are in jobs that are eligible for those retirement accounts, they don't take advantage of them. And why might that be? Because research shows, for example, Black college graduates are more likely to be sending money to their parents, to their grandparents, to extended family.
Stick a pin in that. I know we got a lot of pins on the board, but stick a pin in that too. We continue.
Family. Whereas white college graduates are more likely to receive money in the form of gifts and inheritances from their parents and grandparents. It isn't that Black people are not frugal. It's that we have more financial responsibilities because we have relatives who came up under Jim Crow.
Stick a pin in that. We have relatives that came up under Jim Crow. I know we got a lot of pins on the board, brothers, but this is pin-worthy stuff. We continue.
Who, like my father, were denied entrance into the plumbers union because he was Black. And it wasn't until he got in the plumbers union that he got a job that came with tax-free retirement benefits.
Systemic racism in housing, education, and employment has made it harder for generations of Black families to accumulate wealth. And that means less money to invest in stocks or buy a home, which both come with tax benefits.
And just to be clear, Dorothy is not saying tax laws were necessarily designed to discriminate. She is saying that those rules were written mostly by wealthy white dudes during a time when discrimination was rampant. And so the tax code helps preserve the effects of that historic discrimination.
So, knowing that, what should be done to make the system more fair? For starters, Dorothy says the IRS should collect data on race and ethnicity. This would help the public understand how the tax code impacts different groups.
On top of that, Dorothy argues for simplifying the rules. She says, get rid of provisions that have disproportionately benefited wealthy white people. After all, why should single-income married couples be taxed differently than two-income households?
Or why should homeowners get a break and not renters?
Why should income from investments and inheritances be taxed differently from wages? Dorothy says they shouldn't be. And sure, these of course would be huge changes to the tax code that would probably get a lot of pushback, but Dorothy says they'd also benefit the majority of taxpayers of all races. Plus, she says if she could be convinced that this would be a step towards racial justice, maybe others can be too.
I was educated to not think race had anything to do with tax. So, my eyes have been open, the scales have fallen off, and now the little girl won, right? The little girl in me who wanted to be a civil rights lawyer won out at the end of the day. It just took me a couple of decades to get there.
All right. Gentlemen, your thoughts.
Always and forever. You niggas complain about every fucking thing that comes to your brain, and it comes to
Every
I'm not singing
day.
with you guys.
You niggas always gotta say about the taxes you pay. Otherwise,
Truism's just going to sing his opinions. I like that.
That's it, man. That's it.
dumb dick sucking motherfuckers. Look,
Because once they said a lot of pins in there, but
yeah.
once the guy said that this doesn't mean that that they were targeting blacks. It means that they put this stuff in effect during a time where blacks were discriminated. That pretty much neutralized everything that they said.
Yep.
Because in 2022,
they can all go get jobs and get married too. You can get married.
Hold on about that. See, it's racist because you're talking about the fact that daggles can't get the fuck along with the doggone man that they were forced to be with.
mm-hmm.
Well, I just don't think. I mean, I hate taxes as much as everybody. I don't want to pay shit for taxes, But if you got to pay them, I mean,
shut up and do it.
I don't see where it's a racial thing, really. I mean, there's going to be white rich people, there's going to be black rich people, but and the percentages of that are different, right? But
okay,
pay the taxes, And
with the daggle that became the tax attorney, we're talking about her daddy didn't get a doggone job because he got discriminated against. How about the nigga was too fucking undereducated if he can get the daggone degree or the certification necessary to get the kind of job he was supposed to get? How about that?
Right, that's a good point. And then another point, and Clue even makes a good point. He says, he's thinking that she probably voted for Biden. Which, if you're going to vote Democrat, you're voting for higher taxes every single time.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting that they actually thought it was a issue that the IRS didn't check for race.
Yeah,
no, it shouldn't. They shouldn't be checking for race. It shouldn't be that. It should be on your income level because if you only make, you guys know about the tax brackets.
Yeah.
So if you're making money, if you're making a lot of money, you're paying a lot of taxes, and that's just the way it goes.
But you gotta
and see,
racial justice,
problem.
Though.
This is the problem that I have with. Well, I have a few problems with this article, this audio article. One of the major problems though is that she actually says, well, black people, they can't do this because they're more likely to have to take care of their grandparents and parents. And what is that? Is that because of race? And then she follows it up with, well, because our ancestors were under Jim Crow, of course we have to take care of them.
Right.
I mean,
it's not only white people and black people in this country. There are many cultures that live in America that do in their culture, they take care of their elders. Like I know it's really big in like the Filipino community that they really take care of their elders and stuff like that. I mean, it might not be as big in the white community. I know that it's a thing in the black community. I mean, you want to take care of the elders, right? Especially if they aren't doing well. But yeah, it's not just a black thing.
Only black people take care of their grandparents.
Only
black people do that.
No. How about this? Cut the crap. Cut the cap. It's because these old daggles outlive and outspend all their fucking money in their lifetime, and they always depending on their daggone kids to come on and kick back to their asses because I took care of you, so therefore you got to take care of me. And if we can burden they daggone kids with bill at the bill for their nonsense. So literally, not only do the doggone college graduate have to take care of their own life, but now they got to take care of their old ass drag of a grandma, they old ass nasty head, nappy headed freaking cousins, their mama, they freaking baby mama or some other nigga, and of course some random worthless nigga maggle that's freaking laying up on some whole couch. So all them damn people.
Absolutely. And shout out, man, to brother Sigma Jones, who just became a YouTube member. When you become a member, you get this.
Outstanding. You just joined the page? Cool. You know it's appreciated.
Fire. Salute, sir.
Shout out to brother Sigma Jones, man. I appreciate that, brother. Yes, I do. I appreciate it. Let me see. Give you a wrench because when you are a member, you are automatically wrenched. Automatically. Yeah, man. I mean, that's my problem. I mean, their complaint is actually that these people aren't being racist because technically they're not, right? Because they're not collecting racial data. They're just going by how much money you make. That's it. They don't give a shit what color you are or none of that shit.
I think that's the way it should be.
Which means that if you do the same thing that they did, you'll get the same thing that they got. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
If it's not race specific.
Nope, it's not.
See, but then that particular, I'm sorry. Go ahead, X.
They want it to be. They want it to be race specific. That's what she was crying about. That's what the reporters were saying, that they should collect racial data.
Because do you think it's because she wants like an extra tax break or something like that?
No, what you heard what she said. They want to get rid of all kind of stuff. They want to get tax doggone investments, the same as wages. They want to get rid of all kind of the things that actually help.
Then why are they not voting conservative? Because that's what we want to do too. Cut taxes, cut taxes, big government.
No. It's different. They want the person who works a job, right? You work a job, you collect your 40 hours a week. Compare that to somebody who, let's say, invests in a stock for 3 years and it goes up.
Yep.
They want those two people to be taxed the exact same way, which does not make sense.
No, it doesn't.
No. Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So all of this fairness, it doesn't take into account economics. It doesn't take account the way black people spend money. It doesn't take into account the fact that the black spending power, I believe, is now at 1.8 trillion. And so we got to break it down into, if you actually break that down and actually look into, okay, what do black people spend their money on? A lot of it is just on things that are unimportant.
Yeah,
it's a crazy thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, here's a crazy thing. If you're saying they're supposed to be taxed the same, so what's the rate? Is it going to be, is the millionaire going to be, the dude that invested and got like $1 million or so out of his investment going to be taxed at the same rate as the guy that was working? Or is the working guy going to be taxed at the rate at the guy who's a millionaire because of the stocks? How's that going to work? Because if you tax the guy that's made like millions of dollars the same rate, like say you want to tax him like say let's just say something stupid like 50% or whatever,
Ooh,
then you're literally just cutting off the dude who just worked a 40-hour job directly at the knees. So how they gonna make that equal? You know what I mean?
Another thing that I find interesting is that she almost just blew out the whole systemic racism argument by proving that race is not considered in taxes. So where is the systemic racism? If she's complaining there is none.
Exactly. There's no racism in this, and it should be. I also found that this was very interesting. They said that Black couples are more likely to be 2-income households. How the hell does racism make that happen? It's racism's fault that both people have to work. I don't see the correlation. Well, I guess she's correlating it with the Black man can't get this good job that keeps his wife at home, so that is the racism. The fact that it's racist if a husband and a wife both have to work. That's racism. Racism made it that way because they're less likely to have a 1-income household like white folk, which makes no sense.
2-income housing or 2-income households they've become the norm anymore. I think. I mean, it's way too hard to have just unless you're a real rich guy like being a lawyer or a doctor or something. You got to have somebody else working too.
Yeah, unless you're mega rich, because what they're basically doing is trying to include working class people, because we live in a world of have and have nots, right? Yep. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to include a 2-income household. They're trying to include that in the pile of have nots. You're not a have not if both of you work. I mean, unless y'all work at, I don't know, where the hell could you possibly work?
I mean, if you're both doing entry level jobs, you'd probably tend to be a young people, and there's no shame in that if you're young. But if you're your old couple and you guys are both doing entry level jobs, you've done something wrong with your life, and you can't blame nobody for that.
How about it? Sometimes the life comes with consequences. If you make dumbass decisions because you just wanted to just be a dumbass, you gotta deal with that. Life is not supposed to be, come on, like this. You are not supposed to be rewarded for your dumb shit. You ain't supposed to be rewarded for being a dumbass. Like my father always tells you, God don't give you no credit for being stupid. So if God ain't gonna give you credit for being stupid, why is it everybody else give you a pass because you just wanted to be a dumbass? No, nope. I say no.
And even more importantly, you're penalizing people who are doing things right.
Correct.
For the sake of people who are doing things wrong.
Which incentivizes them to not even want to do good, or disincentivizes them at this point.
That's right. And so
we're seeing a lot of that with inflation right now. People that are people that voted for these leaders to pass these bills now, and we've got this inflation, but we also have this whole push for a higher minimum wage. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've been working since I've been about 16, 17, maybe even a little younger, and I've worked through the ranks all the way up. I'm still just a working guy. My wage doesn't go up. It only goes up so much. But then all of a sudden, these guys that want to get entry level jobs in my area, now they're making $25 an hour for Dunkin' fries.
Oh no!
And mine doesn't go up. Mine doesn't go up, and I'm just like, how does this work? Like this is why I'm paying so much for gas, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not good.
And
it's that way.
Another thing that got me was when she said that, both of my parents worked, they made the same amount of money, right? And she said they were getting, heavily taxed, which leads me to believe that they probably were making pretty good money. They probably were making pretty good money. All right. Because the more you make, the more Uncle Sam takes. That's just the way it is. Right.
That's how that works. Yep.
Yes, that's how it works. So she was like, oh, my parents, they're paying so much taxes. They made the exact same amount, so they couldn't take advantage of the thing that the rich guy was doing. Well, newsflash, lady, your dad wasn't the rich guy. That is why. He wasn't the rich guy. But like I said, they obviously made decent amount of money because brother L.A. Thorne, shout out to brother L.A. Thorne, he says 70% of American working class earn less than $40,000 a year. But if I'm making $35,000 and my wife is making $35,000, that's $70,000. That is not poverty. All right.
No, not by any means. No.
Absolutely not. Because notice she never said, oh, well, we were poor. No, she never said that. She just said that the tax law is racist.
Can we just address Cap with that for a second, though? She said that they were both making money, but she said they weren't together. And if you're taxed, if both of you are single, or if you're not in, there's no
children or anything.
Or if you can't claim head, or you can't claim marriage and get that, but you'll say like your mom is head of household and your dad is single, then of course you're going to get taxed differently for that. So
oh yeah.
I just don't know why. I don't like, and I don't think this is me being like racist or anything or insensitive, but
be racist. It's the ridiculous race game. This is the night to be racist.
Okay, we'll be racist. So I don't see the logic in interjecting skin color into math. You know what I mean? It's just it's a country, you know.
But math is racist.
Math is racist.
I don't know about that either. I mean, seriously, I mean, I know you guys get it. Like, why would if we're gonna do it for Black people, what are the numbers going to be for Hispanics? What are the numbers going to be for East Indians? What are the numbers going to be for the Asians? How are we going to do this? Because it really makes no sense.
It don't matter.
Ridiculous.
We got to do it just for the Black, and everybody else can get on whenever they get on. It don't matter.
No.
They ain't caring about none of that.
I just think it's totally freaking absurd. Totally absurd.
They think the white man's water is colder, man.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
They think them cues hit different in the white man's house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, being that we have our white America representative on the show tonight, is your water colder survival? Is the water that comes out of your tap colder than the one that comes out of mine?
It depends. It depends. You gotta buy. I don't know. My ice gets a little cold.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man.
He's trying to lean into it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cold.
We're going to teach survival how to lean. Yeah, we got to teach you how to lean.
Your ice. Well, he knows. He's been here before. He already knows what it is.
My ice is a little bit. You guys can borrow some. It's cold. It's cold as
well. Thank you, sir. I'll take some of that privilege.
Come get some of this.
Is your ice colder because you're white, or is it colder because you probably have a better refrigerator?
It's because I pay a little bit more money in electricity to keep that refrigerator just a little colder.
Oh,
I end up paying for it. I got to pay for it.
Okay.
You guys can have the same ice, but you just got to turn it up real the same as mine.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
That's good to know.
We were wondering how you got that ice so cold.
I thought it was because of your cold blood, because you know how white people are reptilian and everything like that. They ain't got the blood the same kind of, because they mutanoid. They Caucasoid, mutanoid.
We got some cold ice over here.
Women got flat iron board backsides.
Not all of them.
I will trust me, brother. I know.
Okay, well,
I know.
I asked the question before we move on to the next law.
Yeah.
Is that law racist?
Wow. Florida advances bill that would
not this one. Not this one. The one we were just talking about. Is that law racist? The tax law.
The one that she's she's trying to change, or the one that currently exists? I say the one that currently exists is not, and the one that she wants probably is.
Yeah, most likely it's going to be.
All right.
Yeah. No.
Well, we move on to and these articles are recent. I mean, when I looked at them, I had to put on my glasses to see if they were like 5 years old. But these articles are from 2022. The one you just listened to That was in March. So it's not like these are like some old archive. No, this is recent crap. But we continue. And it says Florida bill that would ban making white people feel bad about racism. And no, that's not a joke. We're going to have to go to our resident white representative on this one later on.
Fucking
The
Vanity
bill,
Fair.
Yeah.
the bill
This is
would
gonna be
ban
great.
public schools and private businesses from inflicting discomfort on white people during lessons or training about discrimination. And there he is, Governor DeSantis. Okay. And it says, quick question for the group. Despite constantly claiming liberals are easily triggered, snowflakes, are Republicans actually the most ridiculously sensitive people on earth? So much that they can stand the idea of factually accurate conversations about race in this country that might paint white people in an uncomfortable light,
I'm calling
and are now going as far to try to effectively ban said conversations because sticking their fingers in their ears and yelling la 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 la, can't hear you when the topic comes up, isn't working. If you're unsure, let us clear it up for you. The answer is hell yes. On Tuesday, a bill backed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis that would prohibit public schools and private businesses from inflicting discomfort on white people during lessons or training about discrimination was approved by the State Senate Education Committee, its first hurdle before becoming a law. The bill, SB 148, seemingly grew out of the conservative hysteria over critical race theory, which, as a reminder, is an academic concept based on the idea that racism is not about individual people's prejudices, but about institutions and policies. Now, we're going to stop there because it sounds like to me what they want to do is to create a law that doesn't make white people, I don't know, feel cringy, want to leave, make them feel out of place or whatever when they're doing their racial training, which I think is within itself an impossibility, because usually when they're doing this racial training stuff, it's not about racial equality, it's about not offending black folk. That's what those things are usually about. So white people are probably going to be somewhat uncomfortable in those situations, whether you pass this law or not, don't you think?
I think that it's basically what the problem here is. They want to just basically just sit down and have white people just sit there in the room and just list off a list of fucking complaints of nigga mythology that niggas that never even lived through, just have white folk feel like they're getting told off by like their school mom. And back in the old 1865 in the old West, where she's wagging her finger in the face, and this is what you white people did here. And do you see what this did? Don't you feel bad about this? And white folk, look, if I was a white man, I'm not even a white man, and even when I hear it, I can want to, man, fuck out of here. I'm out of here.
Well, Truism, I
know?
think there's one thing to be said about learning real history.
How about it?
You have to wonder about how real the history that you're learning is and where it's coming from. It's important to learn history, and in the past, a long ass time ago, like our parents, not even our grandparents, experienced any of that stuff. How much has it been changed to make other people feel like they're a victim these days? Like, I don't feel guilty of anything that happened in the past because I was not there, and I don't think that way. I don't think the way people did in the past. I know you guys don't either. So, I mean, to intentionally make children feel bad in school is probably a pretty bad thing to do, I think.
Yes.
But to teach
It's
them
completely
truth,
asinine.
to teach them truth is, if you're going to teach them true history, they shouldn't be made to feel bad because they didn't do anything bad. They're a little kid, they've never done anything bad. I mean, they probably did something bad at home or whatever, but you know what I mean? People aren't harboring hate in their hearts this day and age. So I don't know. I don't know that it needs to be a bill that really needs to be thing, but we definitely don't need a bill that for CRT necessarily. I just don't. I think people need to get realistic about shit. Quit blaming somebody for everything.
But it has to do with the way that they teach it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like they'll frame it in a way where, okay, the pilgrims aren't just pilgrims; they're white folks, and because they're white folks, y'all are white folks too, and y'all white folks did this to these black folks and these Indians. Like that's how it comes across. Like I've yet to hear a reasonable discussion about race being told in a non-biased way, in a way that makes you feel that you didn't do something that was a fucking long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone teaching that to kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole shit show. Like I don't think kids shouldn't be anywhere near this. It's not something that kids must know. And all they're doing is repeating the cycle.
Honestly, they shouldn't have done none of this kind of nonsense until like the whole Black history of slavery and all this nonsense. Kids shouldn't even be worried about none of this nonsense until they get to be like maybe like about like a junior or maybe a senior in high school. Because this is a very serious type of subject matter you want to talk about. There's nuances, there's things that happen in there that it doesn't always paint all white people as freaking people who just whooped up on niggas just because they could do it.
Because that was definitely not the case. That's definitely not the case.
You mean to tell me all of you white people didn't beat up on blacks survival? Come on.
Just take a look around when you go out in public. Look at some of these pathetic ass white people that you see, and you tell me if you think they could ever have you know, I don't know. How could they control anything? They're just so freaking weak, and I don't know.
It's just like they try to go through it like as if slavery. Everyone who suffered through slavery was just or who went through slavery knew that they were a slave and they just suffered through it and they were just it's been a long haul of glory. No, them niggas went about it. It was just an everyday. It literally was just another day living in the South. Just another day around the way.
I actually think it'd be.
I'm picking cotton today. I'm getting whooped. Oh hey, it's just all it was. It was another day. It literally was
just another day. Just another day. It would be like if they woke up in today's time and you had to explain to them what feminism was.
How about it?
To in a system where it's just been normalized. It's the same thing. They'd be like, what the fuck? Like what are these women doing like in power talking?
Scantily clad.
Voting. Yeah. Like it's like it's absolutely insane.
What's the Amazon? What the hell are you guys talking about? What?
You can't legislate common sense. You can't legislate emotion, and you can't legislate guilt, like brother Clue is saying.
You can't
make it's the anti-guilt bill. I mean,
yeah,
this is racist.
It's pretty dumb.
This is racist. So I ask the question of you gentlemen: is this law racist?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
On some more, and you were a racist.
Get it, Truism, get it.
You were a racist.
Yes,
How about it? That don't make no damn sense. You gonna make white folks just feel like they're racist just for existing.
Oh God.
Well, the thing is that they can try to make every white person feel racist, but it's really gonna land in the minds of the more liberal, the more left. The farther left, you get that guilt. When it comes to guys like me and a lot of guys that know that they've earned their keep on this earth by working with their hands and coming up from humble beginnings and things like that, you're never going to make me feel bad. Like, I don't care what you say to me. I already know who I am. I will not feel bad. But some of these weaker minded people, they get indoctrinated into feeling pretty bad. It's really kind of shitty for them, I guess. But they're the ones that are voting for it anyway, so let them have it.
There it is. And I have another one because, we have quite a few. And this one here is from the ACLU. More of the white man's data, y'all. I know that's what y'all going to say. But it's the white man's data that I guess you got to take it with not a grain of salt, a whole salt mine. Take it with a salt mine. When the salt is in the mine and it's still gray, it hasn't went to the processing facility yet. It's still gray. They're scraping it off the walls. So just take it with a salt. Just take it with a salt mine.
White
It
data.
says here, racist drug laws lead to racist enforcement in cities across the country. Across the country, law enforcement selectively targets Black and brown people for stops, arrests, prosecution, and imprisonment at wildly disproportionate rates. The way which America enforces its drug laws have been racist since its inception. Across racial and ethnic groups, Americans use and sell drugs at comparable rates, but law enforcement has selectively targeted Black and brown people for stops, arrest, prosecution, and imprisonment at wildly disproportionate rates. We'll stop there. Do you, gentlemen, believe that?
I'll let
Does
the
it-
white man answer first.
I didn't hear so what was the last couple sentences of where it stops?
It says that Black and brown people are targeted selectively for arrest, prosecution, and imprisonment at wildly disproportionate rates.
So I mean, if we're just going to take that phrase, and if it is truthful, which it may be, I just don't know what city they're referring to. I mean, if they're profiling people, I don't think that's good. But if there's a reason, if they are selling the drugs, doing the drugs, and affecting their communities negatively, if they're really doing it, then I mean, if it's a higher rate, then that's because that's what they're doing. I don't know, man. Like, I know there's plenty of shitty fucking drug addict white people that fuck their communities up and steal shit and all that stuff. Racist drug laws, though. I mean, if I was living in a city that had rampant with drug use and it was impacting everything negatively, I probably would want the police to just crack down on it pretty hard to get them out of here so that we could all live safe and feel better. But I don't know. It's not me. I'd want all the druggies out. Whites, Blacks, Hispanics, anybody that's fucking up the community. If you're getting caught, you're doing something wrong. How about that? If you're doing drugs and you're getting caught, you're doing something wrong, and you're not smart enough to even be doing drugs. Does that make any sense?
Too much like sense, but because that's because you're white. You're white. That's why it is.
That's too racist. You're extremely racist.
You ain't got no kind of appreciation or feeling about the struggle. The struggle.
Yeah, it just boils down to don't get fucking caught. And if you do, you're stupid for doing it. And it doesn't matter what color you are. Don't get caught.
Here's a question.
But it's absolutely turned it on its head now, because it's at a point now where they don't even care if they get caught because they know they're finna sign out anyways.
How about it? But here's a question. Wait a minute. If Black folks are supposed to be so, we got all this twitch fiber and everything else in our muscle and stuff, why aren't your niggas running? You niggas can outrun them. Apparently, if we fucking got Superman and everything else, and we're just so much more highly evolved athletically than white folk, then how the hell is your ass getting caught?
Yeah, well, and then if they really, so I don't know which city this is. Or did it say? I don't remember.
Pick a city. Pick any city.
Pick whatever city you want.
So if from the top down in the police department, if they're saying to unfairly just shake down people of color, that's not fair, really. But I don't think that should be happening. But if they, people normally police kind of know what goes on in their community. They kind of got eyes and ears on all kinds. They get info from people call in and they're like, hey, I think my neighbor's a drug dealer or whatever. So they know, they kind of know who's doing what before anything really even happens. So it would be shitty if they were unfairly just picking people of color out on the street or something and just getting them in trouble. I don't know. I think that would be racist for sure if you were just only doing that because they're black. But chances are they might have something. They might have heard some.
No. They ain't got nothing to do. None of that. None of that. It's because these fucking Dago Rays, fucking dumbass mini magos going out in the street trying to make some Dago money so they can try to either A, take care of their worthless ass mama who just got laid down with another older mago that just produced their dumb ass, or they trying to get away from their damn Dago of a mom so they can try to be quote unquote a man. That's what the fuck these niggas is doing. Instead of getting up on their asses, getting up on the man, they got some daggone sense, learning the daggone trade or some kind of a skill and get a job so they can get the fuck out of the daggone verse. These niggas are going to go right into it because it's the easiest damn way to get some damn money quick. And then they wonder why they end up in the situation that they end up running from the cops. Whoop, bad boys, what you going? Now you wonder why your dumb ass is on cops.
Yeah, man.
Stupid little dumbass nigga. That's one why your ass always gonna be world star famous because your ass is running on some old cherished hearts on fire, yo, and it's running your ass off all because you want to try to make some fast money. So now you got to do a fast dash so your ass don't get grass in the fucking prison cell. Stupid little dumbass.
Get hit with that taser, deploy.
Well, let's
but
go.
even with cops though, like cops, when I watched cops, it was mostly white people on cops.
Dude, it was like the area that I used to live where was what cops was.
Mm.
It's like Lakewood, Washington, dude.
But if you watch the first running ass niggas,
if you watch the first 48 though, that's mostly black people, I guess.
That's it, and they snitching.
Yeah.
Oh, they tell it. Can I get a cigarette, sir? Oh, he finna tell. Look how he cut that. Look how he cut that kid. Look how he cut that sandwich in 32s. He finna snitch.
Yeah, they know it. They be like, sure, you want a soda too? What kind of soda you like? I'll take a Sprite, sir. I'll be right back with it. You know?
Nigga be made it sang, boy. Not sang.
If these guys are targeting if they're targeting black people or people of color or something like unfairly, but yet they find drugs on them, how is that really unfair? If you're guilty but if they are profiling you, that sucks. But if you've got the drugs on you, chances are they probably already knew you did because they probably heard from somebody and they were, I don't know. You might look the part. You might look like a fucking crackhead. I don't know.
A lot of times you look the part, bro.
Yeah, especially with white people too.
It's not. They're not just not.
Yeah, white person. You're like that girl's on drugs. That dude's on meth or whatever. You can tell.
Or maybe better yet, just get the fuck out the damn city. Yeah, live like a person got some damn sense in your head.
Yeah.
Well, even if you're, I mean, because as a black man in America, I've had my run-ins with police over something stupid, when I lived in New York. I haven't had those problems since I've been in the South. Surprisingly, I tell people all the time that, I'm a person from New York, and I mean, it's more bigotry and racism and discrimination up there, like tenfold compared to, what I've seen in the South.
Hold on, actually, you ain't had your 5 heartbeats? And those Southern dudes and 5 heartbeats moment, you ain't had to do. I got nothing but love for you. You ain't had to do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. And
me either.
I'm right here in old racist North Kakalaki, and I've been down here since 2014. And to be honest with you, the amount of bigotry and prejudice that I've seen in New York, when I lived in New York, I mean, shadows this like tenfold. It's way more prejudice from where, I guess it's because the areas that I've lived in.
Okay.
But I mean, I've lived in many different parts of New York. I lived upstate. I lived in New York City for a while. I lived in the suburbs of Long Island. I've lived like all over New York as a young man.
Yeah.
And the bigotry and racism up there, especially when you're talking about the police, was unbelievable. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs of New York in the 80s. I mean, it was very, very, very racist during those times. I tell people all the time when the Rodney King tape came out,
Oh,
I
boy.
had seen that about at least 5 to 6 times before that tape came out. I mean, literally saw it with my own eyes. So, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, damn, they finally got the cops on tape doing this shit. But we're gonna move down. This race-based enforcement is not only limited to a handful of police departments, regions of the country, or political ideologies. Rather, it has defined American policing across the board, from severely segregated cities in the Midwest to the beacons of progressive politics in the Northeast and West Coast. So basically, what they're saying is that, pretty much all police departments are racist. All right. That I don't believe. I think it's a possibility that many police departments have racists in them. But I don't believe it's the whole police department. All
Of
right.
course not. Of course it's not.
Yeah, I believe it's a few bad dudes in there that do crazy, bigoted shit.
It
And
don't
it's
matter where you go. Any job you'll ever get, there's gonna be a shithead there.
yeah, there's going to be bad people, man. You got bad cops, you got bad doctors, you got bad plumbers, you got bad mechanics, you got bad carpenters, you got you got bad everything in every goddamn employment situation. Every trade, you got bad customer service people, you got bad people who work at the pizza shop, you got bad people who work at Target. I mean, you're going to have bad people no matter what you do. So I would not assign it to a particular thing. I wouldn't assign racism to, like, if I went to say I walked into a Target and they got a store detective in there, and that store detective is following me around because I'm a 6'2", 230-pound black man. I wouldn't say that all Targets are racist.
Yeah.
All right. I wouldn't say that all these Targets are racist, because number one, I haven't been in all of them, and number two, this is just one person in one situation. I can say that that particular person is racist because of what he's doing, but I wouldn't go around. I wouldn't get on my YouTube channel and be like, "Don't go to Target. They are all racist." I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't turn up on a live stream right there in the middle of the Target and just say,
Just
go live.
live.
I'm going live.
you're like, look at this.
You're live. I'm going live.
You
Hey
had
guys,
the phone.
give me a second real quick. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back in 2 minutes. Just gotta take a leak.
All right.
You got the phone in front of you. You like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this here. Look at this here. Look at this here. Look at this racist motherfucker here. Look at here. Look at this nigga here.
He following me. Y'all don't see he following me, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. Doing like that. Oh, I know
we gotta boycott all Targets now because they're all racist, even though I've only had this discriminatory action in one of them by one person.
That would be a hashtag too. It'd be a hashtag. Hashtag boycott Target.
Target is racist.
Something stupid. They will call it. They probably be trying to be cute. Call it targeted racism. Try to be faking. Think they're gonna be cute or whatever.
Not targeted racism. That cheesy ass shit.
Yeah. Targeted ass racism. That's what these niggas would come up with.
It's just crazy, man.
It's just bad, crazy, man.
And I don't think it necessarily has to do when you talk about this kind of stuff, because of course you got some bad cops in probably every single force around, and of course you got cops who mess with people just because they black. And guess what? Some of those cops that do it, they're black too. People would like you to believe that the only cops that are bad cops and fuck with people just because they're black are white cops or Latino cops or Asian cops, but that's not true, man. Because some of the worst cops on the force are some of the black cops.
They terrible, man.
Yeah, especially if they have a white partner. If they roll up with a white partner, because see, they want to show the white man that they're not showing you any, special treatment, because both of you are black. So I mean, we gotta think about that too. It's not always the white cop that's being a bigot towards you because you're black.
Oh, Bernie
Not
Mac,
always.
like the cop from freaking Don't Be a Menace or Drinking the Juice and heard old Bernie Mac sounding that. I hate your black ass. I hate your black ass. I hate your black pants. I hate your black skin. I hate black pepper. That nigga.
That's a fact, though, man. They be the ones that they waste the most amount of time. They the hardest to. They're the least likely to let you go on a warning. I've had a black cop. I've had a black cop let me go on a warning, but god damn, man, he made me wait like 30 minutes just to give me the ticket. Like he didn't know if he could do it, kind of shit.
We
they
act
just
like
headaches,
black.
man.
They act. See, this is what pisses me off. Yes, there's a lot of bigoted, racist, freaking prejudice ass white cops. We know that, but we gotta stop pretending, man. Like only white people treat us a certain way because we're black. Because we have a tendency to do that shit too, and no one wants to ever talk about that. It's only the white people singling you out. Only the white cops are pulling you over because you're black and in a particular neighborhood. Bullshit, man. Black cops do it too. Black cops do it too. So, I mean, we got to stop this shit, man. But shout out to my brother Great Britain with the $10 super chat. I appreciate that, my brother. He said it's been a hot minute, OG, but appreciate it all the time for the dog food. I appreciate that, brother.
Salute Great Britain. That's my dog, man.
Oh yeah, Great Britain has been supporting this channel ever since I had 9 subscribers. When you drop coins on this platform, my brother, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, brother Great Britain, that $10 super chat. But yeah, man, I mean, we have to, because see what it is that people do not believe that we as black people can be prejudiced or discriminatory or racist if we have enough power to do it. And we do. We are some of the most prejudiced people on this planet, and a lot of our prejudice is against each other. It's against each other. A lot of it. We're the biggest colorists in the world. Go ahead, Survival.
I think that the username American Negro makes a really good point about poor people of any color, because I mean, if you're gonna be poor, a lot of times you are probably not at an intelligent level. I mean, not always. Obviously, you're not. I'm not trying to be come down on people that aren't doing well, but I've just knowing white groups and things like that. The poorer the white person is, usually the more ignorant they are, and they'll tend to have ignorant thoughts, and they'll. I mean, they'll just stay ignorant and they never get ahead in life. Do you guys see that? Like, you know what I mean? I can see it. I think he's right.
Poor people genuinely have no power, so they'll take any power that they can get.
Oh yeah.
And any little bit of power that they may be able to muster, they'll push it to. They'll make a mountain out of a molehill when it comes to power, because they don't have none.
Yeah, if you're, I guess if I'm not a white man, but good thing we have the white man representative up here today. I believe that if you're a really dirt poor white person, though, shouldn't you be less likely to be a bigot? Because I mean, if you're poor, you have less worldly influence, right?
It kind of goes. It can go both ways in that spectrum. Like some of the poor white people live within like black community and stuff like that. They live amongst everyone. But when you get like white people that are like totally like isolated and in like basically only white poor communities, they're just white and they're poor, and they will, I don't know, for whatever reason, they'll tend to have real ignorant thoughts on just everything, really. I mean, they think I don't know, they make really bad decisions, and then they want to blame everyone else for it. But you'll get the most ignorant thoughts out of the people that isolate themselves. They segregate themselves from a more diverse society that's doing well or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be a little bit the same in just about any community that isolates themselves from others. They will kind of think that the other people that isolate themselves, they'll feel them as an enemy or something like that.
Spoken like a true colonizer.
Yeah, man. Well, we got to have our white representative up here every week. I mean, it's not the ridiculous race game if we don't have at least one white person. But shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Uncle Stu, man, we got to get together, brother. I want to bring you in for an interview, man. I've been watching your stuff, man. I subscribe to your channel. I suggest other folks get down there, man. Check out Uncle Stu, man. Uncle Stu has some good material down there, man. You got to hit me up, Uncle Stu. Let me know what you look like next week, brother, so we can go ahead and do something. But when you drop coins on this platform, my brother, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Yeah, man, y'all get on down there, man, and check out Uncle Stu, man, the old man on the block, man. He actually dropped some gems. Your black ass might just learn something. And shout out to my man, brother Leon, from the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show with the $10 super chat. This another brother y'all need to go down there and check out, man, because Leon be doing some good shows. I told y'all I bite off of Leon shit sometime. I'm sorry, brother Leon, but sometime I must bite off of your shit.
I'm a big fan of Leon, yeah.
Oh yeah. I told you, man. Y'all need to get down there and check out brother Leon, man. I'm telling you, he's been at this a while, man. He knows what he's talking about too. He says, I have found that black people preach racism, but we are racist and disrespectful to each other, but we keep blaming white folks for their racism. I couldn't agree more, brother Leon. You know, when you drop coins on this platform, you get this, my brother. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. And Uncle Stu on the block with another super chat, showing out with his money tonight. He says, I got you. Let me get things together. I'm just now getting back home from laying my own father to rest. Sorry to hear about the patriarch, my brother.
Sorry, bro.
Damn, R.I.P.
Sorry to hear that, man. That's
my condolences to the patriarch. So I got you. We will get together. All right, man. Just hit me up whenever, man. Whenever you feel like it, whenever, you got time, no rush, my brother. You got my info. Use it when you feel like using it. But absolutely. But when you drop coins on this platform, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, man. Brother Stu, and once again, man, condolences to the patriarch, my brother. And American Negro with the $4.99 super chat, another longtime supporter of the T.P.O.T YouTube page. I think he started following me when I had about 17 subscribers. Yeah, about 17. But when you drop coins on this platform, my brother, you get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Appreciate that, brother American Negro. So yeah, man. Oh shit, another one. Y'all showing out tonight, man.
Hey,
y'all brothers is showing out tonight. Another $4.99 super chat
It's a
from
double
brother,
down, dude. Shout
oh
out.
yeah, man, it's showing out tonight, man. You get this, my brother. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Yeah, the
Niggas-
brothers showing out with their money tonight.
Everybody
Showing
love
out.
when a white woman loving nigga starts singing, boy. Apparently, they just they just like here, and they just like look, fuck, give that money. He's like, give him the money. Hey, look, if I get my brother paid, I don't mind. I'll sing it. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I'll do the whole 5 heartbeats, Jack. I don't care.
Well,
Get X-paid.
I wanted to jump down here because it said for 40 years, prohibition has been a major driver of Americans' gargantuan jail and prison population, done little to curb drug abuse and distribution, wasted billions of dollars, militarized the police, and caused grievous harm to communities and families it was pretending to help. Now, they're talking about, prohibition of drugs and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not ready to say like prohibition. That's been like in the
All right.
yeah,
All right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Freezone.
So,
Freezone, you haven't been talking enough, man. We got to hear from you, dude.
Do you brothers believe that is true? That it's that prohibition itself is racist. Making cocaine illegal, is that racist? Making heroin illegal, is that racist?
You know what I'm going to say is Freezone Lou. So you got it, bro.
No. I mean, no, because at the end of the day, nobody's making anybody do drugs. At the end of the day, so no.
I'm gonna side with
I
you.
don't care if they dropped. I don't care how much coke they drop in the hood. Nobody's making you. Nobody's bringing the coke from the Asian or whatever to your nose. They're not doing that. So
you mean the CIA ain't putting a gun to your head and making you smoke this rock, nigga?
No, I don't
Smoke
even think.
it, nigga.
Honestly, I don't think
crack.
cocaine ain't the problem. Crack could be the problem, or meth could be the problem. Heroin is even like a pretty white drug, really. But
yeah,
just like Freezone says, nobody's making anybody do these things. It comes down to, poor communities that they just get kids early, or they get guys early when they're impressionable, and they get hooked on this stuff. And then I don't know if you guys have lived in communities where there was like bad drug problems, but they'll steal all your shit. They'll steal out your car. They'll get guns, shoot up shit. And it's pretty much drug influenced, drug fueled type of crap. And it's not race specific. It's anywhere you go in mostly poor communities where they get a hold of these drugs. And then it's just, there's a reason why it's prohibited. And I don't think it's racist. It's just nobody wants that shit around. If you have any affluence, you leave that area because you don't want to live in an area where people are doing drugs and doing crime. If you want to be a normal person, you just get yourself out of there. I don't know. I don't think it's a racist thing, a racial thing.
I blame it on the daggle. So it is kind of. I always and I keep saying it, from the poor house to the big house, from the drab house to the white house, from the top all the way down to the bottom.
The daggle is all.
It's always
the daggle is all.
The daggle. Always.
Well, before we go to the next article, shout out to Brother Leon again with another $10 super chat. I appreciate that, Brother Leon. He said,
"Don't talk about that.
Talk about how bad those energy drinks for us are on my live stream on Wednesday. Black man's health is important." I absolutely agree. And because you have dropped $20 on this platform tonight, Brother Leon, you get this. A big coin drop on this platform. Appreciate that, brother Leon. That second $10 super chat. When it comes to drugs, though, like, I mean, because as a black person, most of us, we got somebody related to us who's an old dope head or a crackhead or something. And I've had members in my family who were on drugs and shit like that, and they can't get off it, and everybody pities them and let them stay in their basement and give them money and do all this kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
there's always going to be people who are on drugs. I mean, there is no elimination of drug addicts. We're not going to wake up one day and they'd be like, breaking news, all drug addicts are now clean. No.
Right.
So you're always going to have drug addict people. So what do you do with these people who are drug addicts? Because guess what? If these people are on drugs, they're getting the drugs from somewhere. So does it make more sense to target the people who are on drugs as opposed to targeting the people where they are getting the drugs from? Because the people where they're getting the drugs from are probably the bigger problem. I would say
Yeah,
they're the bigger problem because that's where the drugs are coming from. Now, if you were to, because it's probably more numerically, it's probably more drug users in any town than it is drug sellers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
supply and demand. Yeah.
yes. So the population of people who peddle the drugs is probably a lot smaller than the population of the people who are using the drugs.
It's pretty
So,
common sense. Yeah.
yes. So if you were to get rid of the people who are selling the drugs, the people who are using the drugs would only have one or two options. Number one, stop using the goddamn drugs because there's no drugs in this town. Number
to move
two,
out.
move to another town
Mhm.
where drugs are.
There you
Makes
go.
total
Or
sense.
or they would find alternative ways to get
Or
high.
become the drug dealer themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I know you guys have probably seen this because I know this is probably more of a white drug problem just because of population density. But the opioid crisis that was kind of going on for the last 10 to 15 years, they were prescribing all the opioids for everybody's ailments, at the doctor, and then people got really hooked on it, and to the point where they didn't need it anymore because their ailments, whatever the broken bone or whatever the heck they needed was healed. But they're like, I sure liked the way that Percocet felt or whatever. And, you can't get it prescribed anymore. So, like, they'll go either hurt themselves or go try to, they'll find it somewhere. But now it's gotten to the point where people are they're just trying to get fentanyl and they can't get fentanyl anymore. And they'll turn to heroin. And it's just, it gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier. And then people just die off or they just commit crimes because they can't afford it. So they got to steal somebody else's shit, sell it just to get enough money to get their fix. And it's every race of people. And it's just, I think, like you're saying, nip it in the bud where at the source, and big pharma is a big one to nip in the bud. But these dealers on the streets too.
Yeah.
At the source is I think I'm on. I agree with you.
That fentanyl must be some good shit, boy. That
How
shit
about that?
Oh, it must be
shit
real
must be
good.
really
And
good,
they
boy.
better keep it away from me.
Boy,
Yeah.
that must be some
telling you,
really,
man.
really, really, really good stuff, boy. Because everybody's trying to get their hands on it, boy. I mean, it must be better than a Hershey bar with almonds and white chocolate mixed in with the black chocolate.
No, the white chocolate with the little cookie bits in it. That is the
Yeah,
best.
boy.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, I can
that's
get a whole bunch
probably
of those.
that's probably what fentanyl feels like. It feels like a white almond Hershey bar. It must be as good as that. But we move on, and this one here, this article, systemic and structural racism, definitions, examples, health damages, and approaches to dismantling. Now that's another thing, right? For some reason, people keep trying to pretend like, I mean, one day we're gonna wake up and we're gonna hear, "Da-da-da-da, breaking news: racism has been defeated." Uh, that day isn't a newsflash, folks. Racism isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay. It's like the wind, the trees, the air we breathe, the pollen. It's not going anywhere. That's like trying to eliminate the world of flies. Okay,
It's like
not gonna
eliminating.
happen.
It's like
Good
eliminating
luck.
ignorance. You're never gonna eliminate ignorance.
Absolutely not. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
bore y'all with the top of it. It was one thing that I wanted to read.
Someday all racism will cease to be, and we'll be in a world where we are free. Maybe not in time for you and me, but one day at Christmas time. Ass niggas. Come on, man. It ain't never gonna happen. People are human. Discrimination is always going to happen. It's going to be that way. Get used to it.
Truism. Are we gonna do
I'm
boardwalk?
telling you, man.
Freezone. Are we doing boardwalk for him tonight?
We may, man.
Oh no.
Oh, it depends. It depends on
Oh,
if it comes up. I might not think about it. I might if it comes up, I might do it. Yeah.
yeah, man. But they talk about the criminal justice system, and they say the stark racial patterning of incarceration also reflects pervasive discriminatory policing and sentencing practices. Although people of color represent 39% of the U.S. population, they make up over 60% of the incarcerated people. A 2017 review noted that nearly 1 in 3 Black men will ever be in prison. And that's some badass grammar there.
How about
And
it?
nearly half of the Black women currently have a family member or extended family member who is in prison. It also describes studies linking incarceration to adverse health consequences for both ex-prisoners and their families. Mass incarceration permanently stigmatizes people post-release, blocking employment opportunities. The stigmatization restricts economic opportunities for ex-prisoners and their families and communities throughout their lives, and in some states, it also denies them the right to vote. In addition, the police violence is a leading cause of death for young Black men in the United States. Approximately 1 in every 1,000 Black men is killed by police. Also, Black victims killed by police are more likely than white victims to have been unarmed, suggesting disparate treatment. Police killings of Black men have been associated with the worst health of entire statewide Black populations. Systemic racism includes not only laws and written policies, but also unwritten policies and prevailing norms that guide entrenched routine practices. These norms and police policies reflect the lives of people of color, particularly Black men, being valued less than the lives of others.
Oh my God. That's
So
such bull.
That sounds stupid to me.
You got it, Lou. You got it.
Oh man.
so
Go
what they're
ahead, brother.
saying, here is that because Black people go to jail in higher numbers, percentage wise, that this criminal justice system also affects, their health, and it keeps them from, being healthy, and they're sicker, and because of discrimination, I guess they have less access to health care, and that kind of stuff. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't think it's because you're Black. I think it's because your ass been to jail. Because we assign color to everything, right? Because what people will tell you is, they will say that, because I've heard this, all right? I've heard this in real life, not just, on the internet. They will say that if you and a white man go to jail, y'all do the same amount of time. When he gets out, he'll be able to get a better job than you. He'll be able to get a house. You won't be able to get a house. Now, we heard earlier when we talked about when the lady talked about the tax laws, right? And she said that the reason why this is racist is because black people had lived under Jim Crow. Therefore, we as people now, we get put into a position where we have to take care of our mama, our grandmama, or whoever. Now, I don't see that as the racism. I see the Jim Crow as the racism, but I don't see the fact that you have to take care of your old mammy and grandmammy as racism. I see that as a socio-economic thing, not a racist thing. And I think that this here has nothing to do with your race. All right. This has to do with your lifestyle. All right. Your lifestyle, because you went to prison, you got out of prison. Therefore, you are treated like a person who just got out of prison. I don't think you're necessarily treated like a black person that just got out of prison. You're treated like a person who has gotten out of prison. And also, right, this ties back into the tax law thing. White folk, if you're a white person, there's a pretty good chance that you may actually have a tie-in to some other resources. You may have parents. You may have a father who owns a business. You may have a family that owns a house. Therefore, when you get out of prison, you have a place to go. You don't have to go into a halfway house. You can get a job. Your old man will hire you. Your uncle will hire you. Because you're a white person, you probably have more access to other things. I don't think that in itself is racism. I think that has a lot to do with economics. Because guess what? If you're a Negro and you get out of prison, if your uncle has a business, he might hire your black ass. I mean, because I've hired dudes who have been to jail and shit like that. You know, I don't care about that shit as long as you can show your black ass up to work.
How about it?
7 o'clock. I don't give a shit how much time you've done. All right. So I just don't think you can just simplify it down to race all the goddamn time,
No,
man. It's got a lot to do with circumstance.
And I agree with you there because I know a few men that have done some pretty hard time for like armed. They've done felony prison time. They're white guys, and when they got out, and they didn't have any family or anything that could help them out. But what the only kind of jobs that these guys are even available to them are like hard physical labor, like in construction. It's like, you know, it's kind of like beginning construction level where you're the labor for the job site. You know, you're the physical labor. It's really hard. And, you know, you see these guys.
You're the lumper. They call them lumpers down here.
You're the lumper. Yeah. It doesn't matter what age
lumper.
you get out. When you get out, you could be in your 30s. You might have went in when you were in the early 20s. You know, you were a young man. You get out in your mid 30s, where that's a large chunk of time where most men put a lot of work in. You know, you guys know. But if you have to start fresh, if you just basically have that lapse in time, you got to start fresh as a 30-year-old, 35-year-old guy. Your body isn't the same as it was when it was 22, where you could do all that hard physical labor. And then now you're like, you got to have the mindset of a young man again when you're 35. You got to be able to physically work hard. And that goes for black people, Mexican people, Asian people that get out of prison. Those are the kind of jobs that people want. I mean, not everybody's going to hire a felon. Like you said, I know you have a mechanic shop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know that like you're not that, so you're one of the guys that looks past felony kind of stuff, as long as it's not probably crazy stuff.
Long as you have this is what I tell brothers, because I like I said, I've hired a couple brothers, man, that, you know, they've done some time, you know, as long as you haven't fucked around and did some shit to kids, murdered nobody or raped nobody. I mean, if you got knocked with a bag of cocaine, I don't give a shit.
Man, I know guys like tried to rob jewelry stores at gunpoint, and they go away.
I don't care about
and
that
then
shit.
they learn their lesson. You know, it's like you don't go. You're not in the movies. You know, this isn't a movie here. You don't get to rob diamonds and get away. But yeah, those guys learn a lesson as an early 20-year-old guy, but they get out in their 30s. The only thing they got is hard physical labor. So maybe if white guys do get a job, it's not a cake-ass job. Like it never will be. Like you don't. I mean, like you said though, maybe if their dad may have a business or something, but the chances are that if their dad does have a business or their uncle does have it, these guys wouldn't be making these bad decisions in the first place.
How about it?
Come on.
I mean,
I've also seen guys get out of jail and actually start their own businesses and actually do relatively well, especially with technology nowadays. It's a lot more common.
Absolutely. I know a guy, he did I think he did like 5 or 6 years, and he has a roofing company and shit. Every year, man, this dude, man, he does like close to $1 million worth of roofing jobs and shit now.
Nice.
I know another guy. He did some time too. Shit. Yeah, he did 10 years, man. He's got a freaking landscaping company now, man. He does like $500,000 worth of landscaping every season. So
that's
I mean,
what the American dream is. Like the American dream is that you have the ability to do these things for yourself. Like you can do it.
Yes, I mean, you made the decision to go to prison, right? Because it's not like they just knocked on your door one day and woke you up and was like, "Come on, let's go to the penitentiary." It took effort to get there, right? It took some type of effort. If you, especially if you did it, only if you were framed.
Some bad decision making.
Yeah,
that's it.
It only didn't take any effort if you were framed. If you weren't framed, that means it took you some type of deliberate effort to get there. So you're there because of you. Now, once you get out, whatever your life is going to be is also going to be because of you. You can't blame it on racism and the white man and all this kind of foolishness and Jim Crow and also kind of nonsense because no one wants to hire some dude who just did 10 years. It's their right not to hire your ass. All right. You're not promised a $75,000 a year job when you walk out of prison. Man. You're not. You just came out of prison, not out of Harvard.
But man, I got like 5 baby moms I gotta take care of. How am I going to do that? I'm working at McDonald's.
You know, you just walked out the penitentiary. You didn't just walk out of MIT. So I mean, you can't expect things to just fall in your lap once you walk out of prison, because guess what? You're going to have to try even harder now than a person who hasn't been to prison. You're going to have to work harder, look harder, and probably take jobs that you may not necessarily like, because see, that's the cost of going to prison. That's the cost. You don't get to be treated the same after you come out, unless you run into somebody like me who runs a small business. I mean, we do mechanicking, we do engineering, we do a lot of maintenance, installation, we do mechanical modification. You know, it's grunt work. The pay is good, but I'm gonna get a good day out your black ass. You come work for me, boy. I'm telling you. Ask some of my guys. Let me tell you something. You earn every penny.
That's the way it's no different. It's no different in white culture. You know, the guys that are, like I said, the guys that are coming out with felonies, at least the guys that are like somewhat, you know, they learned their lesson. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to be robbing people no more, or doing drugs and robbing people. You know, they learn. You can just tell, and then you're like, okay, well,
I don't want to be a robber no more.
I'm going to give you here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity to make money, but you're going to work your fucking ass off for it. And it's unfortunate, you know, because it's not unfortunate. It's really, it's a good opportunity for these guys, because they usually, if they're a good person, they did learn the lesson. They will work really hard, and they're happy to work. But I know some of these guys too that get out and they just reoffend just to go back because they need structure. They need structure so bad because they don't have any structure in their life, and they never have. And prison has structure. They get told what to do. People make their food for them. Everything is structured for them, and like they get out.
You lost your senses.
They get out of prison. They get out of prison. And they're like, I don't like being free. they're like, I don't like being free. You know, being free is hard because I got to make decisions
Being
for
free is
myself.
hard. Being free is hard.
Yeah, because
it's
you have
difficult.
to
All this
That's
freedom is
it.
so
you have to
difficult.
make decisions for yourself. You know,
Cause you
at
gotta
that
you
point.
you must now. I know y'all mean well, my brothers and my brothers. I understand, but you gotta understand that the white man is born on the 50-yard line, and the black man is born on the 20, and the white
Yeah.
man got the whistle. Okay. And though the black man could go all the way, he has to still stand and see the white man's back in front of him.
Well, let
Yeah.
me read this last paragraph. I knew this was going to be a fun ass night. I knew this was going to be a fun
I
night.
wish S.K.C was here, man.
He's
That's my
coming.
guy,
He's
dude.
coming.
Well, I don't have
coming.
that much
He'll be
longer
here.
tonight. I only got about a few more minutes that I can be here.
God damn it! You're a resident white man.
I
How the
know,
hell
but
you going to leave? What the
We're
hell?
almost at 2 hours though, guys.
All right, let me read this last paragraph,
All right,
then
I'm
we'll
cruising.
break it
Cool.
out. All right.
I'll be here.
The school to prison pipeline refers to the phenomenon in which children, mainly but not exclusively boys of color, are systematically disciplined more harshly, including suspension and expulsion from school, than other children for behavioral problems warranting counseling and support rather than punishment. Police are more likely to be called into schools to deal with misbehavior by students of color, and suspensions, expulsions, and police involvement greatly raise the risk of incarceration. This practice is not based on written policies, but on pervasive, entrenched discriminatory beliefs and attitudes in which the educational system that reflects systemic racism. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Maybe stop having these mini magos getting in contact with police and not knowing the meaning of the word respect for authority. Maybe they wouldn't have niggas coming down on top of them like a damn ton of bricks. It's mostly because these niggas got smart ass minds. They keep popping off, trying to either fight the police or try to hold court in the street instead of just saying no, sir, yes, sir. Do whatever the Samuel is telling you and going your ass home. Or at least you get into there, get to the police station. Number one, in many cases, the cops really ain't trying to give you a hard time because they didn't want to do all the doggone paperwork in the first place in many cases. If you actually act like you got some daggone sense, you might just get like a ticket, you might get like a citation or something like that. You got to pay a freaking fine and then walk your monkey ass on home and go on about your damn business. No, but you niggas want to, you always got to do like your daggone mama does and letting everybody know what a TI is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can blame racism because they spoke about, disruptive behaviors and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not the school's fault that this child is disruptive. We spoke about this last week. Oftentimes we have a tendency to blame the educational system for the children not being able to learn, but I think it's kind of difficult for people to teach if they're spending a lot of time telling this kid to sit down, to shut up, to keep his hands to himself, to teach him to say, excuse me, please, thank you, things that he should have been learning at home. Oftentimes, when these children are this way, the school spends a lot of time teaching him to just behave as opposed to teaching him, reading, writing, and arithmetic. They're teaching they're teaching him to how to be a person with respect, courtesy. They spend a lot of time teaching that because, see, a lot of these kids come to school and they haven't been taught that. So I'm a true believer that the way kids are out in the street, they're the same way when they're home, if not worse. So if you got a kid, he's 7 years old and he cusses like a sailor, he tells grown folks to shut up. He don't want to sit down. He don't want to be quiet. He don't want to mirror what the other children are doing. He's probably the same way at home. And the reason why he's like that at home is because he's being raised by a person who's a bigger version of him. The bigger version of him at home.
aka
that's
the Daggle.
it's not tied to only one race either. That you'll see that across the board. There'll be real disrespectful children because they're raised by somebody that doesn't have they don't hold a lot of respect for themselves. You know, these people that are very insecure with themselves, and they, you know, maybe they weren't raised right either, and it just keeps rolling down the hill. It just they got raised bad, they raise another kid bad, and then they see people where they see families that might be doing well, and it's the other way around. It gets going it's that family was raised well, then they learn and they raise a family well, and so then at some point these people that have had like shitty existence are like, fuck those people. You know, whether they're whatever color they are, it doesn't even matter at all. If they're doing well, the person that's not doing well is going to go, fuck that shit. I want what they got, and I want it for free.
Yeah. I mean, I think economics has a lot to do with it, man. I mean, you know, if you take a really, really poor white kid, a really, really poor Latino kid, and a really, really poor black kid, and have them raised by really dysfunctional, stupid ass mammies, those kids probably act pretty similar.
Or they'll
regardless,
they'll have a cool ass baseball team or something if you get them both
oh yeah,
together.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's so much of race. I mean, I don't think race necessarily makes you stupid or bigoted or prejudiced or
absolutely.
whatever.
Absolutely
I
not.
think your environment, man, your environment, the type of adults that are in your circle of influence, how they treat you, what they teach you, what they don't teach you. I think those are bigger factors than your color. I don't
That's
think you
it.
just I don't think you're just born this color and automatically your destiny is set because of your color and your environment and your influences and the people who you pattern yourself after and the people who are responsible for you are just, you know, doesn't mean anything. You know, I don't think the color of your skin trumps all those other things, man.
But let's
I
just be
just
honest
don't.
about it, though.
Not in this country, it doesn't.
But let's
It
just be
should.
honest about it, though. On average, we all know good and daggone well the daggone does not want to have a functional relationship with a black man, and this is the part of the problem. So yeah, you're saying it's not a race, but it is kind of, because on average the daggle does not want any male rulership other than white men.
Well,
and because you can't get with white men, they have hold on, wait a second. They get knocked up by some worthless maggle, and they don't want this nigga around, and they don't want any decent black man around. So any male children that come up pattern after daggle behavior. That's why they talk, act, and freaking reason like a daggle.
All right, so it Truism, just to clear something up a little bit, because my girlfriend's listening right now.
Oh, okay.
And she probably doesn't know what a daggle is, but I think it's probably more along the lines of like a feminist, like a far left feminist thinking woman that she don't need no man. She's a strong, independent woman type of thought. Am I right there?
It's no, for me. See, look at the term daggle.
I know it gets deeper than that, but I just, you know, people are listening that may not know what that term is.
But no, it's a black woman. Okay, I didn't come up with the term. Mad Bus Driver X came up with it, and he meant a lower class black woman, or a woman who acts like that, like trash. I'm saying all of them because the quality of any the quality of black women have fallen so low that is not even, I would dare say there's not even a percentile of them that are worth all that much. I mean, it's so few. We got X's wife. You got my two grandmothers who have already gone on to glory. You got a couple of other people in here. You got probably maybe one or two, and probably Freezone Lou's family, and that's about it.
Yeah. when they talk about the elusive 91%er, they're talking about those that aren't that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when you
I just wanted to make a clarification so that people that may not know.
Yeah, so I'm hoping. No, that's how I consider it, because that's the case. Okay, from what I've seen and from what I heard from a lot of brothers here, all the brothers that I've heard of, and every time when I say daggone, none of them do the Arthur fist and get mad when I say it. You want to know why? Because these brothers have something that's called context. They know I ain't talking about their doggone, because there's their woman, the women in their lives are actually decent.
Yeah. I mean, but I met mine a long time ago. I tell people all the time, I feel sorry for young brothers because they don't have, they don't have it. When you talking about women within, black society, man, it's not a lot to choose from, especially when you look at media, man. You look at social media, it's like, God damn, man, these brothers are doomed. They don't have, anybody to really pick from. I mean, my two sons, okay, both of my sons are married to Latino women, right? So I mean, I guess they made their choice early. I mean, cause shit, I gotta shit. My oldest grandchild is about to be 16. So my sons, they've always kind of been I guess the SYSBM, if you want to call it that. And I didn't train them that way. I wasn't like, oh, you need to, don't have any daggles or whatever. I never I told my boys, go to where you can have peace. I said, whatever brings you peace, that's what's best for you. And both of them, they married Latino women. And me, and I say this all the time, when it first started, when they first brought these girls home, I pulled them to the side, like, sure you want to do this? You sure you want to do this, Negro? And they were like, yeah. So, I went along with it. I eventually warmed to it. And, once my grandbaby started to come, that was it. I didn't give a shit after that. I love them
Right.
little mulatto jokers to death. So
see,
It's
but
all,
you
it's all about the
love
love, man.
you love your sons enough to tell them to do something like that. Notice daggos on average do not do that.
yeah, because I wanted my boys to, I wanted them to have a life that they enjoyed. I didn't want them to feel like they were pressured to do A, B, or C. I never told them to find somebody like their mama or no stupid shit like that. Like, nah, man,
So do you guys think
be
that
with
there's
somebody who you love.
How
so
about it?
Go ahead.
you're coming from a place X where you're coming from a place of pretty open-mindedness. Do you think some of these men, I know there are white men that do get this kind of pressure on them from certain areas where like their family definitely they pressure them, they assume that they will be
They
marrying a
better,
white
you
person.
better marry a white girl.
Right. Yeah. So do you see that like some of these black boys that are becoming like adolescent and young men, do they feel pressured to stay just only in their race? Like
Absolutely, they do.
Are you
I
kidding
don't
me?
I don't think I've
yeah.
never been black, you guys. I don't know. I've never been black.
You never been black, Survival? What the hell
I
are
don't
you
know.
talking about? You was just black 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I didn't vote for Joe
Yeah.
Biden, so I'm not black.
Every
Oh shit,
black
that's right.
youth is always told if she can't use your comb, do not
Don't bring her
bring
home.
Bring her home.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that every
I didn't even know that.
yes.
Mhm.
It is deep. It is deep.
Well, that's like
because-
that's got to be stressful on a young man if you're just a man in the world. Like I know you guys we've got eyes for all the women, right? If they're pretty, they're pretty. You got the Ling Lings, you got
Except
the
for a
Marias,
daggle.
you got
Except
the
for a daggle. No. A daggle is not a
Except for a
woman. A
daggle.
daggle is not a woman. A daggle is
Every
I don't
once
give
in a
damn how
while.
you look. No,
Every once in a while?
never.
Well,
never,
not
ever,
for
ever
you,
for a
not
daggle.
for you.
No, never for
I
a
know you
daggle,
got
no.
yourself a little white lady.
Make
over
me
there.
wanna holler the way they do my life.
Well,
No, but Pete, I didn't know
well,
that there was that much. That's got to be a lot of pressure. That's pressure on a young man. I
those
think
are
young men should just go for what they love. Feel
yes,
good
those
about
are
it.
the main people who push that narrative. The average black man doesn't tell his son, "Oh man, you better marry a black girl." That's
No.
just not what
No.
we tell our sons. I
Yeah.
mean,
should.
their mother was kind of more, their mom is kind of that way. But me,
I can see that.
I never told them, get somebody that look like your mama, get somebody who just like it's this old saying, he want a woman just like his mama. No, the fuck he don't. His mom's
No,
an
you
idiot.
don't.
How about it?
Yeah.
He don't want nobody like his mama. He wants somebody the total damn opposite of the spectrum from mama. Because if he get that, he might just fuck around and have a happy life. He
How
gets
about it?
somebody just like her ass, his life will be miserable.
Before my mother passed, I showed her a picture of my son. This was when I was in my 20s, and me and my mom hadn't seen each other in a while. And I showed her a picture, and she said, he's looking kind of white. And I said, yeah, well, his mother is white. And even she was like, I would have preferred if she was black. And I was like, well, I mean, it was what it was, no. So it's just the way it is. It's the
an
women.
old way of thinking, I think.
But no, here's the thing about it. And I'm gonna say this. Daggles know that they cannot compete, or they will not compete for the affections and time of a black man, because you, as a black man, are the unwanted consolation prize compared to white men. Mm-hmm. But they don't want your black ass to go nowhere neither. So as a black man, you're trapped in this weird kind of zone where you're not wanted, but you can't go anywhere until you decide to just say, hell with you,
I
nigga.
want to break free.
How about it? I want
to break free.
And to be honest with you, I think it's more to it than that. I think that the reason why black sons are indoctrinated to get somebody just like their mama, because see, if they go out and they get somebody different than mama don't look so good, especially if she happens to be better than mama.
That's why they always want to keep all that dysfunction in house.
Well, you guys, all three of you guys both know that there are there's white women out there that they're only for the brothers, I found that out the hard way once, because I in school, in like maybe a little after school, but right around that area when I was a teenager. There was a pretty cute girl, and she straight up told me, she's like, "No, what though? They only go for the brothers." And I'm like, "Well, okay."
That whole thing is
they're out there, guys.
But there's also like really, really dysfunctional white families. Like,
of course there are. Of course. Oh,
insanely dysfunctional. Where it's like, damn, I'm glad I have my black family. Like,
how about that?
The Whitakers.
So it's just. Yeah, man. So it's just like that whole the white man's ice is colder. It's so far from the truth.
No, the reason why that all gets brought up, because we were talking about earlier, it's like the poorer you are, the more ignorant you tend to be, and that's why you're poor in the first place. They develop, and that's a big majority of everyone. Like, most people are not in a median class, and we're not. All of us tend to be like we're all pretty middle class to higher middle class. Everybody below us, there's a lot of ignorance down there, and they are loud. They are loud people. What's up? S.K.C is in the chat, dude. Get in here, man. S.K.C's late.
But just like a coon, man. Just like a coon.
Yeah,
the king, dude. The king is here. The king's in the house, dude.
Damn it.
The king is here.
I'm gonna have to take a break here. Dang it. I'll come back though. Let me go. I gotta go say hi to my girlfriend, and then I'll be back.
Well, I can find a substitute white person in the audience that can
get Lawrence in there.
Fill in for you. I can.
He won't be as good. He won't be as good. He could do it. He could do it.
I saw Cyber in there. Cyber, do you want to be our resident white person?
Cyber is a good white man.
Get in here. I'll come back in a little bit. I gotta go say hi to Francesca, and then I'll come back.
Okay, do your thing. Do you want to be our substitute white person? Cyber. Yeah, he says he'll do it.
Cyber always with it.
Hell yeah, man. I got plenty of white folk willing to be our white representative. That's the way it's supposed to be. You always got to have a white representative on deck.
Come on, man. This is the prophet of thought. Y'all thought we only had one white man? I thought I told you that we don't stop. I thought I told you that we don't stop.
Man. I got plenty of white folks in the trunk, man. I got a bunch of white folks, man. Got a bunch of them in the trunk. See, I'm sending it to you now, Cyber. Sending it to you
white man.
And don't come up here, Cyber, unless you willing to say some racial shit.
Before we see it. You take it.
Better be ready to say some racial shit. God damn it. Don't be up here trying to be politically correct and all that kind of shit.
No, that's not cyber at all.
I don't want him up here trying to be politically correct. God damn it. Lean into it.
That's
Let
it.
the racism flow through you. Let the
Happy
bigotry
whiteness to you.
flow through
Happy
you.
whiteness to you. Happy whiteness. Happy whiteness to you.
Check your
Happy
email,
whiteness
Cyber.
to you. Happy whiteness.
Oh, damn.
He
Brother Lawrence, you're mixed. You're perfect for this shit. What are you talking about?
Whiteness. Happy whiteness.
You are
Yeah, man.
perfect for this shit. What are you talking about, Brother Lawrence? You kidding me? All races are welcome, even if you're two at once. Even if you're two
That's
races
it.
at once.
Even if you're the
That
combo
is-
package.
Yep, it's perfectly fine on the ridiculous race game, and we don't care. You could have 4 different races.
You the
inside
American
you. We
dream,
don't-
baby.
Yeah, we don't care. We don't care. At least not on Saturday. We care on Wednesday, not on Saturday.
Mulatto supremacy coming. It's coming.
Oh yeah, it's coming. But let me
Oh yeah.
let me ask y'all this, because I want to do a little something called. God damn it!
Uh-oh.
I want to do a little something called "You Be the Cop." Now, because you know there's no rules to this game. I just kind of make them up as I go along.
You be the cop. All right.
You be the cop. And I guess we'll start with a truism.
Uh-oh, here we go.
And you be the cop, and you're on the beat, and there's a white guy and there's a black guy. Both of them are breaking into a place or stealing a car. You whip out the 9 and say, "Freeze, you little bastards," and they take off running. Who do you chase?
The white boy. I'm not in the movie trying to be in the freaking. I'm not trying to be in the movie. I gotta jump over fences and I gotta freaking duck through it. I'm not trying to be in a full on track meet trying to catch some young little spry nigga. Nope. I'm going for the white boy. Sorry. It's easy to catch.
Oh shit!
It's easy to catch. Sorry, I'm not really doing it. Look, I'm not doing it. Man.
You would chase the white guy.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I know I can dog the hell out of him. That little young little nigga, man. He gonna make me try to sweat out, get my uniform on, sweat up.
So,
have a heart
is that racist? Is that racist because you would chase the white guy instead of the black guy?
Is that racist? I would say that it's smart. I'd say it was smart. Nah, it's not. Look, it ain't racist. Because think of it also like this. I'm also giving the brother a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Looking out for the brothers.
You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I'm saving on my cardio, and I'm also looking out. Because I mean, come on, brother. You know, I'm looking out for the cookout. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I got to do this, baby. You know how we do this.
All right. Let me go ahead and shout.
I want my plate. I want my plate ready for me before I pull up.
How about that?
I want, you know what I'm saying? I want the good mac and cheese, the potato salad with no raisins. You feel me? I want that. I want the big piece of chicken.
How about it?
Come on, man.
And
come on. The gotta have a biscuit. Gotta have a biscuit. I'm letting the the brother finna run me ragged, sweating and all this other stuff. Like, nah, man. Give me the white guy. Give me the white guy. Unless it's one of them dumb niggas who gonna hide in like the obvious place.
Oh yeah, that nigga gotta go.
Just
for the sake of the gene pool, you gotta get that dumb nigga out there.
The nigga hiding in the pigeon coop in the dog house,
sweating like a slave. No, nigga, you come. Yep, come with me. Bring your black ass coming with me. I got both of you niggas at the same time. Bring your black ass out. Get out. Come on out. Come with me.
Man. Come on.
Get your black ass in the squad car right now. Right now. Get your ass in the car. I caught your dumb ass. Go right on ahead. I saw you. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Shout out to Brother Sigma Jones with the $5 super chat. And damn, Brother Sigma is also a member. He said, "Thanks, T.P.O.T, for the voiceover for the Villain of the Month series." Absolutely, my brother. You know, this is what I do. And being that you are a member and you donated, you get this.
Outstanding. You just joined the page? Cool. You know it's appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate the work, man. I've been hit up by a couple people over the last couple of days. Somebody came down through Bernard Riley. They said they had heard my voice on Bernard Riley and they wanted me to do some voice work for them. So, you know, I appreciate the job, my brother. Absolutely. And if you are interested in hiring OX to do some voiceover work for you, the email is prophetofthought@yahoo.com. That's prophet of thought, one word, no caps, @yahoo.com. I cut my rates really good for brothers on YouTube. Brothers will tell you that. Sigma Jones can vouch for that. I cut my rates significantly, about 40%. You're going to pay about 40 to 45% less than what I normally charge if you are a YouTube brother that I'm familiar with. So
All right.
keep that in mind. Yeah, I knock like 40% right off the top for you. So if you're interested and you need some voice work done, just hit me up and I'll get them to you, man. I'll get it to you quick too. It won't be a long time. All right. So okay. And we've been joined. Okay, before we move to the next round, we've been joined by Cyber. What's good, Cyber?
Yeah, doggy. What's good?
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, man? We were just playing You Be the Cop. So you be the cop. And I'll ask you the same thing. You're a cop.
Hold it right there. I'll shoot. I'm white. You know I'll do it.
Be right back, guys.
No, but on a serious note, who would I chase?
Who would you chase?
Of course, I would chase the white guy, because if I chase the black guy, he's going to be faster than me, and I'm going to have to shoot him. And everybody will think I'm racist, even if I'd made the choice to not chase the white guy.
That is racist, isn't it? You're just as racist as brother A Truism. That is racist. If you're going to chase the white guy because you think he's slower, isn't that racist? That's racist, isn't it?
Sometimes you dealt the short end of the racist stick, my friend.
I'm over 6 foot. I'm over 6 foot, and the other guy was shorter than me by far. So it was just obvious. It was actually a height thing.
Wow!
But nobody else saw it because they weren't there.
Everybody will chase the white boy. Wow. Well, now, white folk, you know, if you're out there robbing shit with your black friend, you're going to be the one that get chased down. Just remember that. Right. You're going to be the one to get chased down. So if you're going to get out there and rob and steal and shit, don't rob and steal with a black person, because the cop is probably going to chase you because they're just going to assume that you're the slower and less athletic. So keep that in mind.
And if I chased the black guy and I caught him, what would I do without people thinking I'm racist? In this day and age,
that's true.
You can't stop him.
That's true.
Nothing. There's nothing that you could do, bro. Nothing.
In a world where silence is violence, where words are violence, and violence is mostly peaceful, one man, 2 missions, and about 3 sticks of jerky and a half-eaten peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Fit Silver Age 7. Fire in the streets. Coming soon to theaters online.
Their stories.
I guess we'll move on to the next round, and this round is You Be the Court. Now, you're the judge, and a black guy is in there, and he might
hang that nigga now,
or robbed a store, but He tells you how the cops beat him, whooped him. He might even have a few bruises or about the face and neck. Do you take pity on him because he looks beaten? Or do you go ahead and treat him, just like any other criminal, even though he has obvious signs that he's been beaten by the police?
Well, hey guys,
Hang that nigga now.
I didn't get to hear the last piece, but I have to get going now, guys. Though I'm sorry, I got
Okay.
to cut out early, man.
That's
But,
all right.
Cyber
We got
Talk
you.
is here.
We
Cyber's
already
here to
have
take
your
place.
replacement.
I got a
We
replacement.
already
What's up?
have your replacement, man.
Cyber can
I think
replace.
I'm gonna fire you pretty soon,
Dude,
brother Survival.
Yeah,
Because you've been short and you've been derelict on your white man's duties around here.
I know.
Man. You've been derelict on your duties, man.
Well, hey, I'll be in the chat for just a minute, and I'll give you some coins, and then I gotta go get my Saturday night on,
All right,
guys.
man. I appreciate it, man. Always a good sport, Survival, man. I appreciate
Salute,
you,
bro. Salute.
Yes, sir. Much love to all you
Oh, yeah.
guys. I'll see you next time.
All right, brother.
Later, man.
Yeah, Survival's a good sport, man. He's always a good sport, man. Was y'all here when I did White Folk on Trial that week? Were y'all here? And
I seen it.
and Survival was the only white person on the chin. And everybody got a chance to put White Folk on trial, and Survival had to listen to like all the white people say all this bullshit. I mean, the black people say all this bullshit.
All their
man.
grievances.
Yeah. He's a really good sport, man. He is. He's a real good sport. White Folk on trial. Okay,
Oh,
so
man.
you be the court. What do you do?
Nah, you're getting. I'm throwing the book at
you,
you, man. You get the book, bro. You get the book.
So you don't care that the police beat him,
No.
even though you're a judge.
That doesn't get filed into that doesn't get calculated into well, they did beat you pretty bad. Like, why did they beat you? Were you running? Were you fucking with stuff? A lot of questions to ask.
Cyber?
Yeah, if he were obviously beaten but able to walk into the courtroom, I wouldn't really have any question as to why, unless there was a grievance filed by that person that was also on my desk.
Okay. Is Brother A. Truism back? No.
No, he's gone. And I tell you what, I'm feeling generous. I'll cut your sentence by 30 minutes. How about that?
He said
you could be locked up 30 minutes less than you intended. I give you 15 years. I give you 14 years.
24 hours.
24 hours.
And 30 minutes. 23 hours and 30 minutes.
You get 30 minutes gone.
Instead of them letting you out at 9 in the morning, they let you out at 8:30.
8:30. There you go. Because I'm that kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? It's only fair.
But I've seen on television where a dude may have done something. And I remember one time seeing a dude, man. I mean, he walked in there. I mean, this dude was obviously beat the shit out of him. I mean, his face was puffy. I mean, he was black and blue. So obviously the police had really, really beat this dude. And, they brought him in there. And, his family was in the courtroom. They were screaming, "Oh, my God." Like that. And,
my baby.
Yeah. So he walks in there and, his family's in there. And, pandemonium breaks out when they see this guy. He's beaten so bad. But when they bring him in there, when they get done with the pandemonium, they bring him in there. And the judge just treats him like nothing's going on. Even though, this guy, his face is swole, his head is swole, his lips are swollen, he's black and blue. And the judge was like, he was just treating him like nothing was happening. That's why I asked to see if, would you look at them and be like, well, what happened to you? Why you bleeding? Why is your head twice the size it's supposed to be? I mean, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess as a judge, you have to be somewhat impartial, right? You can't look at this guy and then ask, what the hell happened to him, because he was being arraigned. I don't even remember what charge he had, but he was being arraigned, obviously, because I guess something had happened. They beat him up real bad and brought him in there, right? And it just seemed like to me the judge should have been like, why is this guy's fucking head swollen? Why is this guy bloody? Why is he black and blue? Like,
what I miss now?
Well, with the ridiculous race game, I just kind of make rules up as I go along. And shout out to hold on a second. Shout out to brother Cyber with the $5 super chat. He says, "Thanks for having me on the show. Much love."
Survival.
Out
Survival.
here. I appreciate that, Survival. You get this. I appreciate you dropping your hard-earned coins on this platform. Yeah, we were playing something I call You Be the Court. And I said, oh, yeah. The guy walks in there, you're the judge, and he walks in there for arraignment. And obviously, the police have beat the shit out of this guy. You can tell it just by looking at him. And I asked the brothers, do they show him some type of deference? Are they like, hey, what the hell happened to this guy? What? And of course they said, hell no. They're just gonna go ahead and throw the book at him.
Chio said, "You look like you just attacked Dave Chappelle."
Yeah. So I ask you, brother A Truism, what do you do when you see this guy? Do you make his bail lower? Do you release him on his own reconnaissance so he can go to the doctor?
So is he white or black?
Oh, is he white or black? Let's say he's black.
No.
What if he's black?
I turn it up. I tell him, yo, what the hell is wrong with you niggas? You guys can't beat his ass no better than this. Turn it up on his ass. Go back and go your dumb asses. Get you some videos from down south, from down in Jim Crow South, and it'll show you how to properly beat a nigga's ass. Get his dumb ass off my court, and don't come back in there until I see his arms bent backwards like doggone dog legs in here. So take your dumb asses out, or you're fired. Get your asses on out of here.
Yeah, because I saw that and I was like, damn, the judge isn't even going to ask him, or ask the court or the district attorney or, why is this guy head like 3 times the size it's supposed to be? Like.
Yeah, I've seen them before. It's not the judge's job, though, man. It's not their job.
Yeah, I know it's not their job, but I mean, I guess that's just the way I think. I'm sitting in there, I'm a judge, and you bring this guy in here for arraignment, and he obviously looked like he's had the shit beat out of him. I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to ask something like, why this motherfucker in my courtroom bleeding? Like, why is his lips? Why do his lips? Why are they the size of peaches? Like, why is he blood? Why does his eye look like it's about to fall out? Like
Mick Jagger looking ass niggas.
Yeah,
what just start me up? Ass nigga.
The judge didn't even blink. I mean, he looked at him and was like, "Do you have an attorney?"
That's it.
Yo. Do you have an attorney, sir? That's all he asked him. He wasn't like, damn, why you bleeding? Why your damn head looks so fucking swole up? They didn't ask him none of that shit. Well, I guess we move on to the next round because all of you are obviously very goddamn racist. But the next round is you be. Oh, hold up. What the hell? Hold up, y'all. What the hell is? You be the criminal.
Oh, damn.
Get it?
Not the criminal.
Cop, court, criminal.
There you go.
You're a criminal. You smoke crack. All right?
God
Smoke
damn.
crack. and you don't have any more, but you want some more.
All bets are off now.
Where do you go to break into houses? Do you break into houses in the black neighborhood or the white neighborhood?
White neighborhood.
Why?
They got something.
Yeah, that's easy.
They got something to
they
steal.
got,
What the hell are you
they
talking
got
about?
something
Don't
to
say why.
take.
What do you mean why? They got more chance. They got something to take. That's why.
You too, brother Freezone. If you a crackhead, you're gonna break into the white folks' house, not the black folks' house.
Yeah.
Well, let's say, okay, let me rewind it. Let me pull it back. What if black people, white people in that village, in that town, in that whatever, are on the same income level? Whose house do you break in? Whose houses are you breaking into?
I'm breaking into the first Daggle house I see. I'm coming in not just a taste of, but just a pimp smack the bullshit out the first Daggle I come across. Just kicking the door like Link Hayes from the Mod Squad. Just pop.
Now you do realize you smoke crack. So
that's okay. That's not a problem. My addiction to crack is not greater than my addiction to smacking the bullshit out of a Daggle. Give me this.
I mean, if that's the case, then I'm looking at vehicles.
Okay.
I'm looking at what somebody driving, what they pushing.
Okay. So it wouldn't matter if they was black or white, if they lived in like the same kind of cul-de-sac, they got the same amount of money, you would just break into the first house that you thought you could break into.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't break in by race, no ways. Like I'm looking to see what you got.
No, I'm going for the first Daggle.
You know what I'm saying? So
they all got the same money. I'm kicking a Daggle ass on the way out before I get some money. Give me this.
Give me this.
But you smoke crack though, so you know crackheads ain't
the
known
Daggle.
for. You smoke crack. You're gonna be trying to get that fix.
No, I am. You're right. I'm gonna get the fix. I mean, put my foot up the ass. That's part of my addiction. That's a greater addiction than that.
Cyber, you smoke crack. You walk into the cul-de-sac and you need to steal something. Do you steal from the black folks or the white folks?
Well, as someone who smoked crack for 3 weeks and never touched it again after that, I would just never touch it again.
Damn.
But if I were fully addicted to it, like a lifestyle of it, I would probably be so fried that I would just steal from whoever's closest to me. And that could be anywhere, because I likely wouldn't have neighbors for not having a home.
He does make a good point. When you're a crackhead, a lot of stuff sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
That old white guy in that Buick, let me break into his car. Let me take his stuff.
Well,
like, it don't even matter.
I wouldn't be looking for color. I would be looking for gloss, sheen.
So you be like brother Freezone. He said he'd look for whoever got that money.
Whoever got the drip.
I'd be looking for sheen, not color.
Catch him dripping and slipping.
How about it? He said catch him dripping and slipping. How about it?
Well, is there a racial element to criminality, right? Do you think that people who sell dope and crack and heroin and fentanyl and all this kind of stuff, are they more likely to sell to their own race or other races?
I would think as a drug dealer, I guess you want to try to get as many people as possible to be, to get hooked on your, your products. I press you probably would go to everybody, I think.
Yeah, they don't really discriminate.
Yeah.
If anything, they'll sell they'll sell some bullshit to somebody that they don't know, and sell like if they're selling weed or something, they'll sell like the top the top notch weed to people they know, and then like the bullshit weed to some out of towner or some random stranger, something
Yeah.
like that.
They don't really know you. They giving you some old boom, some old
You get
backyard boogie, some old backyard boogie and shit.
exactly.
boogie.
You might get some oregano. You might get some pepper. You might
Pepper.
Backyard boogie.
backyard boogie.
What the hell is backyard boogie?
Backyard boogie. Homegrown shit.
Yo.
The shit
my
they
Hey,
grow in
hey,
the
your ass
backyard.
dancing in the yard like you fucking Charlie Brown.
You know, they didn't even take care of it. It just kind of grew. You know, they didn't take care of it.
And they give you like dandelion greens or something that's
Yeah.
all brown.
Tell you that shit.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh
Yeah,
damn.
because there has to be, right? Well, I guess it all depends on where you are and what kind of drugs you're selling, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you're a person that sells weed, you'll probably sell, you know, to anybody that want it, right? But I think you have to be I think you have to be a little more careful if you're selling drugs that are a little more illicit, because guess what? You fuck around and sell to a cop, you're going down. So you would have to be a little more careful if you're like selling, you know, fentanyl or oxycontin or, you know, cocaine or heroin. You know, you gotta kind of, you know, pay more attention, right? You know,
right.
and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that sell drugs, you know, they're probably a lot more weary of white people, because white people are more likely to be the police than black people. So I think there is a racial element to, you know, selling drugs, depending on what the drugs are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at what level you're playing at, what level
Yes.
you selling at? Because if you
That
bringing
too.
in pounds, you're gonna move a lot different than somebody who's, you know, nickel and diamond people.
Absolutely. Because I'm a true believer that the dudes who stand in the park, stand on the corner, that's not a drug dealer, that's a drug peddler. I think the true drug dealers sell drugs to drug peddlers. Those are the drug dealers. The people standing on the corner, he's no dealer. He's selling the dope heads. He's not making any deals. He's selling the dope heads.
Yeah.
He's a peddler, not a drug dealer. The drug
Yeah.
dealer sells his drugs to other peddlers.
Right. Yeah. Those guys will typically buy from the dealer, and they try to flip the little bit they got. So you know, if I could sell half of what I got, I could make back what I made, and I could still have the other half to. Then I could go back and that's how they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drug dealers don't sell to dope heads. They never run into dope heads. All right. Because the amount of drugs that they have, dope heads probably can't even afford. You know, I mean, especially if they're dealing with kilos and pounds and shit like that. Dope heads can't afford to buy no fucking kilo of cocaine.
Dope head.
Yeah, they can't afford to buy that. So I think there has to be a racial element to it, to a degree, because that's what keeps you from getting caught. If you're concerned about, you know, your OPSEC, you know, your operational security, race has to be a factor. You can't just sell to any person, any color, because they might be the police.
And that's crazy, but that's how you gotta live your life, man.
Yeah, it might be the police. Well, let me ask you brothers this. If there was a law that said you can sell drugs, but you can only sell drugs in your particular town, your county, your whatever, do you think that would change how things are, far as the violence, far as the drugs? If they said, okay, we're going to allow you to sell these drugs, but if you sell these drugs out of this town, out of this county, we locking your ass up. So what I'm saying is if you provided structure to people who sell dope and say, well, you have to do this, we'll make it so it's legal for you. Would that change the drug culture? Would that change the culture of, the drug beefs and people that shooting up blocks and all this old kind of nonsense? If you made the selling legal, because what they're doing now is they're making possession legal to a degree.
Yeah.
So that means they're also making selling legal to a degree.
Yeah.
But they're doing it with weed, right? You never heard nobody, smoking 5 blunts and then going to rob a liquor store. They might go and raid their mama refrigerator, but they don't go and rob a liquor store after smoking a couple blunts.
Okay.
Now, drugs are different, right? Illicit drugs are different. People don't break into people's houses to get a dime bag. People break into people's houses to get that half of 8 of crack. They break into a house, get that bump of heroin or whatever the case may be, right? So if you made those illicit drugs legal, would that fix things?
I think it would. Honestly, I think what it would do, it would be kind of like some kind of weird kind of corporate takeover type of thing where people are trying to it's like, it wouldn't be like so much gun violence. It would be so much like kind of like this weird kind of clandestine kind of behind the scenes where people are trying to make deals with politicians to try to get their territory expanded or move from one area to another or take some other, like they wouldn't do it like in terms of like actual violence so much. I think it's like the violence would be more low key. I think like kind of like maybe like a Yakuza kind of thing, more or less, where it's like the Yakuza that they're still gangs, that they're gangsters, but they're not like out and out and like shooting up babies or a whole neighborhood or something like that. They're doing it like at night in like in a warehouse or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing the cops come in, they just see like a whole bunch of dead bodies, but nobody knows really what happened. That type of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. I know
That's what I think.
Well, we spoke earlier about the way the police target people. They target black folks, they target brown folks, stuff like that. I'm from New York, so I'm very familiar with that kind of stuff, with the stop and frisk and all of that. Do you guys think that the stop and frisk thing was a racist policy? You think that was a racist policy?
No, it's just if you know that on average niggas is always going to be engaging in dumb shit because you see niggas always constantly engaging in dumb shit, it's not really racist. It's because niggas want to keep being on dumb shit. It's niggas' fault for keep wanting to be on dumb shit. So it's not you can't put that on race because you niggas keep doing dumb shit.
Anybody else?
That on race?
If there was any uptick in actual racism, it wasn't because of the policy. It was because of a racist.
Do you think it was racist, Brother Freezone?
Hold on for a minute. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I was actually living in New York, during those times, during, like the Giuliani years and 90-something% of the people that they were stopping and frisking were, either black or Latino. But see, that's the thing. 93% of the people that they were stopping and frisking had nothing. So if they're stopping and frisking people, which I never agreed with, but they're stopping and frisking people and these people don't have drugs on them, that means nothing happened to these people.
How about it?
Yeah, that means nothing happened to them. I mean, if they were stopped and frisked and didn't have any drugs, they let them go about their way. Now people have a problem with that because I think they just have a problem with the stop and frisk itself. And I did that because I thought that they were targeting particular people because, of course, they were stopping, young blacks, young Latinos, of course. But what I also believe is that they were doing it because the areas that they were in were mostly Black and Latino, because cops, you're going to see more cops where there's more crime. That's just a statistical fact. I mean, if there's a lot of crime there, cops are going to be there. All right. So if cops are where the crime is, of course, they're going to be in those particular places. And often that crime is in those neighborhoods where it's mostly Black and brown people. So as prejudiced as you think it may be, as prejudiced as you may think it is, right? You may think it's the most prejudiced thing in the world. But the cops are going to be wherever the crimes and shit are going to be committed.
Right.
This is why when that guy, what's his name, Frank James, went and shot those people up, he was able to just dip away, man. All right, because he was in a part of New York City, man, where it's not a lot of cops over there, because you got a lot of white folks and Asians, and so it wasn't a lot of crime over there. So guess what? Wasn't a lot of cops over there. So he was able to just slip on out of Manhattan. He was able to slip on up out of Brooklyn and right on into Manhattan before he got caught.
Niggas make the block hot.
Yeah, because of where he was. He was able to do it. He wouldn't have been able to pull that shit off if he was like in Bedford-Stuyvesant somewhere or Brownsville.
Yeah.
Nah, he would not have been able to pull that shit off, because see, it's nothing but niggas over there.
Yep.
All right, nothing but niggas there.
Well, hold on. Wouldn't he blend in a spot where there was nothing but niggas?
Well,
like, wouldn't he stand out in an area with nothing but white folks, and he's this big ass nigga, gargantuan nigga walking around?
Yes, he would stand out, but guess what? There were no police. I mean, who was going to tackle his big ass? Some
Gotcha.
5'2" freaking Asian guy, so he was just able to breeze away, because see, the police don't have it covered. In fact, they said that the cameras down there, a couple of them had been reported as being broken because they didn't see no urgency to fix it. Ain't no crime going down in here anyway.
Correct.
I bet you them cameras in them fucking stations in Bedford-Stuyvesant and Brownsville are working.
Yeah, man.
Up to date.
I bet you them motherfuckers are working.
They the new joint. They're the new joint that follow the motions and everything on some more Minority Report type shit. Yeah, them damn joints right there.
Yeah.
So what would they say about the police if most of them were in these majority areas where there's not a whole lot of crime, and they were just standing around? And
yeah, they would say they're wasting the taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
Right. Do you think places where crime is pushing really hard, do you think those places would slow down because of the lack of police presence for them being over in the easygoing places? Or do you think the police would get hate from the majority of those neighborhoods being overrun with crime?
I think that no matter how you slice it, police are in a lose-lose situation.
Pretty much.
And it's something that comes with the job.
Yep.
Like that's really the bad part about it. Because I understand that argument that I understand the argument that, listen, you signed up to be a cop, this is what you signed up for, quit bitching, do your job. I understand that to a certain degree, because nobody made you be a cop. It wasn't like, there's nothing I could do, so I just decided to be a cop. That's not how that works. You took the job, you went through the academy, you did all of that to become a cop. You know what it is. I agree that they should be treated as heroes, and I agree with all that, but you know the job that you took. And it is what it is, man. So you got to decide if you really want that job or not.
Well, isn't it hard as a cop? Well, I guess it would be a lot harder for you as a black cop inside of a black neighborhood, right? Because you're walking around and people are doing all kinds of shit. It's a terrible neighborhood, and you're going to look bad no matter what. Even if you're a decent cop, you're still going to look bad for the simple fact that you're a cop, especially if you're in a cop in a neighborhood where Negroes is doing all kinds of shit. So, I mean, you're
Yeah,
not going to
man.
look good. I mean, people are not going to necessarily, like you, if you can even use that word, because you are a cop and you're under pressure, to do your job. You're not really looking at these people like, oh, these black people, I'm gonna go ahead and let them steal this car. Oh, they black people, I'm gonna go ahead and let them break into this store. You can't do that, as a cop, right? You
But
can't do that.
but it's funny that you say that because that's precisely what they want them to do. They want them to look at the man stealing the car, and since we've come from the same streets, I should understand a true because we come from the same streets. So when you take that man's car, I'm supposed to be more understanding, and I might, let you go, give you a warning. But next time I see you stealing something, and it's just like, what kind of
The next
behavior are you
the
really
next liquor
allowing?
store you rob,
Yeah.
next liquor store you rob, God
I'm
damn it,
on
I'm
your
locking you
ass.
up, boy.
The
I'm
next
on your
old lady,
ass.
you bopping the head
Yeah.
with the 9.
Yeah. Give me this damn pistol.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you should shot that guy. And he got a hole in his stomach. So if you shoot another person in the stomach, I'm taking you to jail. If you shoot
Yes.
another person, I'm locking you up. So they
Yeah.
are under pressure. I think they are under a
Mhm.
little pressure. But
Yeah.
let me ask this. Let me ask the other side of that. Do you think that white cops give white people breaks? Do white cops cut white people breaks?
I doubt it. I doubt that very seriously.
They do, but it's not because they're white.
Mm.
I never got any breaks.
Yeah, like I doubt very seriously, just because I think because it's not like they do like some secret, like some kind of secret handshake with like they're doing bump pop, and then they gotta
Wink,
wink
wink.
wink, yeah, and then they don't do nothing, and then they
Right,
just like,
right,
all right, I'll
right.
let you off. No, I think they full on they catch some white dude doing something like that, and then they definitely get it. They own them. So I mean, if do some white cops do it? Probably. I'll say that, yeah, especially for like the right person, like if they're like connected with XYZ, whatever. Yeah, I can see it happening, but I don't think on the norm, nah, not on the norm.
So
I think that cops give warnings to people who are respectful towards them.
there you go.
Simple as that. When you pull up to the car, is your license and registration available? Do you understand why I pulled you over? Yes, sir. I was speeding. You know what I'm saying? And when you make it smooth like that across the races, they tend to they'll give you have a higher chance of getting a warning. It's those people who get pulled over and try to argue with the cop
well, what you pull me
because
over
they think
for, man? What you
they
pull
know
me
the
over for,
law and all
bro?
this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
everybody's a fucking lawyer. I
How
mean,
about that?
that's the shit that fucks with me, cause I always taught my sons, man, I want you to survive the encounter. I mean, the fuck the bullshit. I want you to survive the encounter. If
Come
you
on, boy.
think if you think the cops have done something wrong, go ahead, get in the cuffs,
Okay.
go on downtown. We'll figure the bullshit out later.
Right, right.
Your story never gets told if you're laying on the side of the road with two of a cop's bullets in your brain. Your story never gets told. So even if you think the cop is out of pocket, I mean, we're not going to be able to remedy it on the side of the road anyway. We're going to have to remedy it in a courthouse no matter what. All right. No matter what, whatever the problem is, it's not going to get remedied out there, even if he's a blatant racist and Billy Club your ass into submission. Guess what? That's not getting fixed out there. It's not. We're going to have to go into a courtroom to fix that. And I think when people try to hold court on the side of the road, it's just a bad decision, man, because you can't win. It's going to be an L. All right. You're taking a loss no matter what. So just go on to jail. You get out of there. I might try to bail you out, possibly. Possibly, depending on what
Right,
you've
yeah.
done.
A
Depending
lot
on
of
what
it
you've done.
depends on the cop and what kind of day they're having. Like I paid a good portion money for my mom's lawyer. She had a cop show up at her house because of her dogs, and he ended up popping off some rounds in the driveway.
They came there
And
because of the dogs?
yeah, they showed up because of her dogs, because there were some.
They were vicious?
They tried to paint it out that way, but those dogs didn't bite anything. They just all got out. They were about 6 months. There's 3 of them, 3 puppies.
Okay.
Got out of their cage and were running down the streets and all. And a cop showed up, and she was calling for them. They started coming, and he pulled his gun out. She said, "Is that a gun that can kill?" He said, "Yeah, it is." She said, "You better not shoot my dogs." So he turned and shot into the driveway. I had her and my brother find the bullet, and I'm just trying to help them over the phone. And I end up helping them get a lawyer.
What the heck was the point of shooting into the driveway? What was that all about?
Yeah. Trying
It's
to
Canada,
steal.
man.
That's why I started my story with it depends on the cop and what kind of day they're having. I don't know what the hell's problem is. I've been thinking about making it worse, but
Well, I will say this.
I'd have to
and
invest some money ahead of time. And
I
don't
can't
know
speak
if
for
he's
over
worth it.
there, but I can tell you in the States, there's very few people that are in jail for nothing.
Yeah, very few.
I ain't do nothing.
Now let people tell it. Now let people tell it. Everybody in prison is innocent, right? Everybody in there is innocent. They're all innocent. But
the judge dismissed her case.
Well, as a white person,
well, that's what's up.
As the resident white person on the
She's a lot darker than me. When
no,
we
I'm
were
talking
in
about
Mexico,
you. You're white, right?
Yeah.
All right. As the resident white person on the panel, do you because I know I think what happens with black people oftentimes, you know, and the cops roll up and shit escalates to a ridiculous level. I think black people, a lot of us, you know, not all of us, but a lot of us, we already have an adversarial view of the police for some reason, for whatever reason. Now, people will say, people will say, you know, because the cops kill us and also kind of bullshit. And most of us ain't even never came close to being killed by no damn cop. But we have an adversarial view of the police when they show up on the scene. Even if they're showing up on the scene and their visit is warranted. All right. We have a problem with them then. So we definitely have a problem with them when they show up and their visit is unwarranted. So that's when things go crazy. So white folk, do y'all have that adversarial view of the police when they show up, whether it's warranted or unwarranted? Do you have that when they show up?
Not
you see them as an adversary.
Not outside of actual event. There's not that suggestive, intangible presence of cops are going to get you. It's not presented like that. Outside of actual event, no. Outside of proper context, no. Not that I know of.
So it's not like you're driving down the road and you see the police, you know, make sure your seatbelt is on and, you know, start.
There's no
mythos.
ahead. There's no mythos suggested that I'm aware of. That's what I meant by outside of actual event. There's no mythos being suggested. I see it in movies. I hear about the talk. I hear about a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's very emotionally driven. And it pushes people outside of logic, which makes logic want to try and catch up. And that's the trick in the secret, trying to form reality with imagination. It's backwards because feelings lie to us too often.
So you're in Canada too? Because I know Ragnarok is.
I live in Texas.
Oh, you're down there.
Uh-oh. Oh, Yellow Rose of Texas ass nigga. Okay.
Yeah, where the cop
I thought she was in Canada too.
really racist in Texas. God damn it, that's like the racist capital of the world, or so they say. Texas is a
I've
racist
spent some time in
capital of the
Canada.
United States out there.
Okay. I could have sworn I've heard you give like tell some Canada stories, and I thought you was up there with Rock.
I've been up there
But that's
for a
cool.
little while. I didn't like it when it was winter, when it was cold. And that was when we first got there too, and I was used to Eastern weather.
Yeah.
A lot
They
of
say
people
Texas is. I heard a lot of people say Texas is racist, but when I lived there, the whole time I lived there, I didn't experience any of that shit. I just don't be experiencing this shit that people be saying.
How about it?
Like, I just don't.
Like my brother never complained about it. He lives in Texas. He ain't never complained about nothing like that. But then again, he's in the army, so but then he bought a house. He don't live on base, and he ain't never said nothing about no racism down there.
Yeah, if a military if you're in the army and you buy a house there, nah. Nobody says this place is too racist. I think I'm gonna buy property. No, that doesn't happen.
This place is too racist. I'm gonna buy property. Yeah, because I mean, racism is gonna be all over this country, right? I mean, like I said earlier, racism isn't going any fucking where. And I think what's wrong with a lot of us is that we have this goddamn daydream that racism shouldn't exist. All right. There's always going to be racism in America because number one, you have different classes in America as well as different different colors. All right. I mean, because racism is usually about class and or color. All right. That's kind of what you're talking about. So it's not going to disappear. Unfortunately, a lot of the laws that we live by in the United States were written by white people. So I guess the racism is kind of interwoven, it's interwoven into the whole, the whole thing, the whole process. It's there. But what I believe is that when it comes to certain laws, it's not always about the color of the person. I think it has a lot to do with the circumstance of the person, the actions of the person. I mean, a lot of that comes into it, man. I mean, if you go, like, for instance, if you go and you shoot somebody dead and you standing in a courtroom, and whether you're getting ready to go to trial or you're going to take a plea, I mean, you have laid yourself at the mercy of the court, whether you're black, white, blue, whatever. Now, people will have you think that, if it was a white man, they just would have let him walk out of there after he murdered somebody. If he was a Latino man, they would have just let him walk out of there after he murdered somebody. I don't think so. I think that the bias comes in a lot heavier when when it's one of those victimless crimes. I think there may be some bias there. Now, of course, they say that black people get sentenced to death more than other people get sentenced to death. I think that there may be some racism there, but I think that has a lot to do with legal representation. If you walk into a courthouse and you're accused of murder and you have a public defender as opposed to a paid attorney, you're probably going to be worse off no matter what color you are. Like I said, you're going to be worse off no matter what color you are. Now, people want to, minimize it down to color all the time, but these people who got sentenced to death row, what kind of representation did they have? What kind of lawyer did they have? All right.
Yeah.
What kind of, I mean, what kind of
And
representation
I'm not
did
ready
they
to
have?
die on that hill.
What's that?
Let's be
What's
real,
that?
man. Who's ready to die on death row hill? Like, it's not fair. The white man only killed 30 people and he didn't get the chair, but this black man killed, 15. It's like, all right, let's start somewhere else. We might get to y'all niggas. Even if I'm gonna fight a fight of racism, y'all on death row. Like,
no, we got to start somewhere else. Let's start with the person who got caught with the $10 bag of crack.
we can start there. That's not a bad place to start.
Mumia Abu Jamal ass niggas. It's been there.
And then we'll pick up steam as we go. The snowball get bigger and whatever.
Oh, don't
but
you know,
this is why
the free zone, all crimes are the same. They're all the same. They're like sin.
Oh,
sin is
yeah.
sin. Crime is crime.
Killing
somebody is the same as getting caught with a $10 bag of weed. That's all the same shit. It's all the same stuff.
It's crazy. But this is why I say a more healthier question would be to ask, how much racism could you live with? Are you comfortable with? Because it's not like I hear these guys on panels talking about like we're not gonna stop until every bastion of racism is like, all right, you're not serious. You're not serious. So let's ask the serious question. You know what I'm saying? Could you deal with being called the N-word online maybe twice in your life, but you could still maneuver and get through what you need to get through? It is what it is. Like if you play video games at any point in time on online, it doesn't even matter, man. You've heard all types. It could be fun. You learned racism could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's fun racism.
Yeah, well, that's why we do this here, right? We talk about racism. We talk about bigotry, prejudice, discrimination, and we have a few laughs at racism's expense because some of it is just totally ridiculous. All right, and I think a lot of racism.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. If you can't joke about racism, you can't be my friend. Because it's all stupid anyway.
How about it?
It's all dumb. Like if I could tell a joke and you get all uptight, that's a little bit. I don't hang out with friends that get offended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. My circle, that ain't my circle, man.
Because racism, I can't say this enough. I'll say this for a fourth time tonight. Racism isn't going anywhere, man. And see, I was always taught as a young boy that you're not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you deal with what happens to you. So
that's it.
I mean, I'm not trying to live my life, man, according to racism. And I think that's what a lot of people want us to do as black people. They want us to just live our life according to racism. Like, come on, man. I'm not going to let the racism of a country dictate how I operate. Fuck that. Because I'm putting myself in a box if I'm going to, my life according to racism. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not, man. I mean, I know racism exists and I'm going to live, accordingly because I see racism like the rain. I mean, it ain't raining every goddamn day. Of course, it's gonna be raining some days, but
on me, let this racism just fall like rain.
I mean, if it's raining outside, I'll put on my goddamn windbreaker and I'll get an umbrella. But I'm not gonna be walking around when it's 95 degrees outside. You're not going to see me with my fucking rain jacket on and my fucking umbrella. Racism is the same way. I mean, shit. I'm not going to be walking around thinking about racism when there's none around. People want you to have this mysterious racism and walk around all the time thinking that, a racist moment is about to happen at any time. Like, no, man. Absolutely not. I treat it like the rain, man. When it comes, I will get my fucking umbrella, man. I'm not gonna walk around with the umbrella on a 95-degree day and it's nice and sunny. I'm out there with a big ass raincoat on, a rain hat, galoshes, and a fucking umbrella up. Like, come on, man. Come on. Same.
And that's why I always thought it was better when the commonality between all of us was green.
Oh boy, how about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even if you're racist, you'll tolerate certain shit for the money.
Absolutely.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, think about how many, I don't know. They'll say that the NFL coaches and all that stuff, they're all racist and stuff, but the teams be like 95% black people.
How about that?
Yeah, well, like I said, I think sometime the racism is conjured up, man. You know, when there's not
Oh
enough
yeah.
of it, you have to fucking conjure up some, man. You know, just like we talked some weeks back, the people who were doing the fake fucking race crimes, and the one dude, I just thought he was hilarious. He called the police and said they had sprayed a swastika on his car, and the swastika was backwards. I'm looking at, I'm like, the fucking swastika is backwards. You know, and after they probed him a little bit, he admitted to doing it.
Man.
He
There you
admitted to
go.
doing it. Come on, man. And the black girl who had painted colored and white on the water fountains, and you know, they thought it was this big old racial thing. They checked the goddamn cameras, and it's a black student that did it. And you got people out there marching, no more racism, no more racism. They check the fucking footage. It's a black person that did the shit. Like, come on, man.
And suddenly everybody is quiet.
Come on, man.
And they move on to the next story.
There's a kind of hush.
Oh, okay.
All over
In
the
other
world
news,
go back and look at it. They were actually defending her. They were like, oh, well, you know, you can't come down on her because she did that. Get the fuck out of here. You was ready to string up every white goddamn student in that school if you thought they had did it. You find out a black person did the shit, and now you're, oh, yeah, you can't be rough on her. You know, young people, they make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Like, come on, man. Come on.
We can't punish a daggle.
Yeah, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this bullshit too, man. If you're a black person and you're trying to set others up and make people believe that there's these other racist people here, and come to find out it's your ass, I think that you should be punished. Like I talked about the girl who in the neighborhood, right? The black people in the neighborhood were getting these crazy racist death threats, right, in their mailboxes, right? And they couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So, you know, everybody got cameras on their house and shit nowadays, right? Everybody got a Ring doorbell and all that shit. So what the police did is, you know, they start getting footage from, you know, people's cameras and the Ring doorbells. Guess who it was? It was a 30, I think she was 35, a 35-year-old black woman writing these fucking notes, and she's doing it like the BTK killer, you know, like taking separate letters, you know, from the newspaper and shit.
You're trying to do the smooth yay?
Yeah.
You're trying to smooth yay the
Yeah, she's sticking these racist fucking letters in people's mailbox at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, the black people that are there, they're thinking, you know, it's this crazy racist man, you know, in the neighborhood.
Oh, these are the daggers in your neighborhood.
Yeah, they're going to kill all the black folks and all that. Come to find out, man, it's a 30-something-year-old black woman doing this shit.
D-A-G-G-L-E, it's the Dago family.
Like, come on, man.
It's the Dago family.
And the crazy thing is, they probably ain't going to do shit to her. They probably ain't going to do shit to her. Ain't going to do shit to her. But if that was a white man,
she technically didn't do anything.
Going down. Yeah, well, isn't that like terroristic threats or some shit like that?
Yeah,
it could be.
I'm gonna drop off.
It could
guys.
be.
Thanks, though. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, bro.
Brother A Truism. That would be
could be
terroristic threats. I mean, you're sticking letters in there and threatening to kill people and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You threatening to kill people.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. That's some bullshit, man.
The way that they do it is weird, man. Like, because that's technically a hate crime. But the way that they'll you know they play with that hate crime thing. They play with that.
Well, it would have been a hate crime if it was some white guy, right?
Right.
They
Right.
would have jammed him. They would have jammed him up on a hate crime. But being that of some black woman, they probably be like, okay, fuck it. She's just crazy. She's got postpartum depression or some old bullshit like that. Psychotic episode. She was insane. The usual bullshit that gets them off. I'm probably gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This was good tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me up, brother X. Good look,
Yeah, man.
Cyber, coming up, man. Last minute,
Yeah,
doing the
yeah,
thing.
man. Being the residential white man and shit, man.
Shout
We
out
always
to the
gotta have.
white man.
Yeah, we always gotta have a white man. Down in the basement. We let him out when we need him to come up here and play the game and shit.
Then put the
Any
lotion
final?
on.
Yeah, any final thoughts, men, before we get out of here?
Y'all cut the bullshit, man. Stop with this racism nonsense. That's it.
Yeah, no more racism. No more racism. No more racism.
We will defeat it. We will defeat it tomorrow. Tomorrow to be over, y'all. Tomorrow, no more racism. I promise.
The
When you wake up
sun
tomorrow,
shall rise again.
racism will be over.
As
It will
long as
be
it,
done for good.
as
Yeah,
long
man.
as
So
it
I'm
stays
taking
in a
off, bro. You
place.
take it easy, man. Appreciate you
Peace,
having me
brother
up.
Freezone. Absolutely,
Cyber,
brother.
be easy.
Peace, freedom.
Cyber,
As
any
long
final
as it,
thoughts?
as long as it stays in a place that doesn't have authority,
Mm-hmm.
then people shouldn't have such a problem with it. And people having a problem with it is giving it more authority than it deserves. There you've got your two opposing forces pulling people in a whirlpool downward.
Yeah.
One thing
I
feeding
agree.
the other. It's chaotic.
Yeah, I like to leave the majority of the thinking about racism to the quote unquote racist. Let
Yeah.
them think about racism all the goddamn time. I'm not. Man.
Can't get much done,
Nope.
and you get tired quick.
Yeah. I mean, I got too much other shit on my mind, man, to let, racism be taking up all this goddamn space, especially at times where there's no obvious blatant racism. If I have to look for the racism in something, that means it's probably not a lot of it there. If I have to seek it out, if I have to look under the rug for some racism, that means that the racism probably is not there. I mean, I don't deal with racism on a daily basis, man. I don't think anyone does. But people want you to believe that racism is just in the clouds and it's just misting on you 24 hours a day, even when you don't know it. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Something that lives low and creeps outward isn't something that's ever going to reach the clouds.
Nope.
Unless it has something to climb. So you just got to keep it from creeping on you or in you, and you grow up and keep it off of you, and you keep growing tall.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to do it, is to spend your energy growing good things and just trimming the bad that's trying to get in, prevent it. And that way you don't have a lesser potential. All of that mind-boggling stuff, it keeps people from having a balance, and they can end up going in circles instead of a straight line. You grow up, and that's not about age or anything. That's not a stab at anybody. You just grow up, as in upward. That's where you spend your energy.
I agree.
And it works. It really works.
I agree, man. I appreciate you coming on, Cyber, man, and being a good sport, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
All right, take it easy.
Bye.
Yeah, folk, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. Good tonight, man. I mean, we had some laughs. I had a good cast of characters. I'll say this, man, about this, racism in law and order and courts and criminal justice and all this kind of stuff, man, of course, there's going to be some racism, in the fabric of it. That's America, right? But I think oftentimes we get, I think we get caught up, man, in the freaking minutia sometimes, man, when it comes to, this racial stuff. I think we get caught up in it, man, and we want to blame racism for everything. We want to go out, rob a liquor store, get locked up by the police, and the fact that we got locked up is fucking racism. Or if a white man had robbed that liquor store, you wouldn't have locked him up. That's a fucking lie. That's a lie. He would have gotten locked up too. So when it comes to crime and law and criminal justice and the courts and police and the penitentiary, I believe no matter what color you are, I believe that the majority of the people that are in prison fucking belong there. Of course, there's a few exceptions. There's some people who got trumped up charges on them. There's some people who probably shouldn't be there. They should be in the fucking crazy house, a mental institution. There's probably a few people in there that got framed, or some people in there that got overcharged or whatever. But I believe the majority of people that are in prison, the overwhelmingly majority of people that are in prison, probably belong there. Probably did something to get there. Now, I know we like to believe that everybody in prison is innocent, and that's nice to think, but it's not reality. All right? It's not reality. And if you're a person who's out there committing crimes, robbing and stealing and killing and shooting, I have a hard time feeling sorry for you because your ass is in prison. All right? I have a hard time feeling sorry for you if you've killed a kid, if you've killed an old person, if you have a hard time feeling sorry for you, man. Now, when it comes to like drug crimes, that's something else. I don't think a person who got caught with a $5 bag of crack should be doing 10 years. All right? I don't think a person who got caught with a joint should be doing 5 years or a year. Or, it gets a little dicey, when you're talking about drug crimes. But when you're talking about other crimes where people are getting hurt, people are getting killed, I mean, I just have a hard time feeling sorry for anybody of any race that does these things. I mean, you can't go out here, man, and hurt people, man, and do shit to people, man, and think it's not going to be any consequences, and then blame racism for said consequences. You can't do it. It doesn't make any sense. Just because you feel like you should be able to get away with this shit. All right? Because that's probably why you're doing it in the first place. Because I don't think anybody gets out there and commits some kind of crime and say, well, I guess I'll go ahead and do this crime and go to jail today. I don't think anybody does that. So whatever you're out there doing, you thought you were going to get away with it. But if you don't get away with it, I don't think you can saddle the consequences, the courts, or how you're treated after you get out of jail purely on racism. You can't do it. You just can't. I don't give a shit what color you are. Forget doing the time. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't do the goddamn crime and you can't do the time after you get out. Because like I said earlier, I mean, you go and you spend 5, 10, 15 years in prison. When you get out, life ain't going to get easier for you. It's not like it's going to be easier for you than it was before you went in. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder. You're probably going to have to make more sacrifices, more compromises, I'm sure. But guess what? Before your ass went and did what you did to get in there, you could have thought about that then. But you didn't. You didn't care. Now, people like to tell you, oh, these people, they commit crime because they feeding their family and all this kind of, man, I bet you that's not even half of the people who out there. Especially when you're talking about people who out there stealing cars and robbing liquor stores and shooting at folks. Man, that shit ain't probably got nothing to do with damn bit of family. You got a family to take care of, you get on your fucking grind. You got a family to fucking take care of. Guess what? That should be all the more reason for you not to do something to go to prison, man. You ain't fucking Biggie Smalls selling dope to feed your daughter. You get out there and you grind. You work. You make money. That's what you do. Especially if you're a brother without a criminal record. Because that's one thing about out there, being out there doing crimes and shit, man. Guess what? There is the potential for you to go to prison. That does exist. That is a possibility. You're not so stupid that you don't know that, right? So I don't buy the whole, oh, well, I got to get out here and I got to rob and steal and do all this freaking bullshit to feed your family. No. No, man. Just another fucking excuse. Just another excuse. And racism don't have a damn thing to do with the excuses you make. Racism is just another one of them. But that's all. But yeah, man, we're going to wrap it up, man, and get on up out of here. This was actually fun tonight. This is when I've had more fun up here tonight than I've had with a few of them in there. And all of them are different, man. You notice how all of them are different? They're all different. This one was 50-50. 50-50 serious, 50-50 some laughs. I guess because of the dudes I had up here. I had that damn Truism up here and goddamn brother Freezone, That's always going to be that's always going to be a good combination right there, man. Always. But before we get out of here, man, y'all know I got to hit y'all in the head with T.P.O.T's programming notes. Because we are not finished, man. The T.P.O.T YouTube page chugs along. Did a lot of streaming, man, this week, man. This is like the fourth show this week, man. A lot of streaming, boy. I'm looking forward to having a couple days away from this shit. But, like I said, the T.P.O.T YouTube page is chugging along. And Wednesday, the Hours of Power debates return. Because my brother Big Nate, will be here, along with my brother J.I. will be here as well. And they will be squaring off in Digital Squared Circle. And they will be discussing morality and termination rights. Yes, morality and termination rights. Because y'all know, all this controversy that's going on, man, with the courts right now. The whole Roe versus Wade thing. And all of you who are familiar with Brother Big Nate, you know that he is very anti-abortion. And Brother J.I., he's the coiner of the term financial abortion. So, yeah, man, you got two people who are on polar opposites of a debate. So it should be a good one. Two of my favorite guests, both of them very fiery brothers. And it goes down right here, man. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. You Negroes know. All right? All right. So we're going to go ahead, man, and wrap it up, man. Once again, man, I appreciate everybody for coming out, man. I appreciate all the super chats, but I appreciate your participation more than anything else. You got my word on that. I don't take you good folk lightly, man. I never have, and I never will, man. Shout out to my contestants, man. Brother Freezone Lou, A Truism, Cybertoxin, and Survival for coming through tonight, man. I appreciate everybody, man, coming along, man, playing the ridiculous race game. We're probably going to do one next week as well. I'm trying to think. I don't want to. Yeah, we'll probably do one next week. We'll probably do one next week as well. Yeah, we'll do one next week as well. What the hell? What the hell? But yeah, man, once again, man, I want to thank everybody, man, for coming out tonight, man, as always. I will see y'all Wednesday night, man, for the debate, man. Make sure you have your black behinds here, because if you don't, you know what I'll do. So, with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your mind. Peaceful. Live from the T.P.O.T studios, the game where we talk about discrimination, prejudice, bigotry, with all of the absurd hypocrisies and contradictions that come with it. Get ready to play the ridiculous race game. Open your mind.
The Prophet of Thought. The Prophet of Thought. You know. The Prophet of Thought. Profit of thought. Open your mind, 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 open your mind.